What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Correct Me If I'm Wrong. I'm your host, Marcus, and we got one new guest today. We got a few returners. We're gonna go ahead and start with. We'll just go around and everybody can introduce themselves. We'll go ahead and start up at the. Well, it don't look like she's ready. We'll go ahead and down here and start at the bottom with George. George, what's going on, bro?
What's up with you, man?
How you feeling?
Blessed, a little stressed.
It's a little stress. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Other than that, how's everything?
Good, man. Good.
Yes.
Eating this, going on this hot food.
Hey, we're gonna get to that in a minute, man. Mr. Jeans, how you doing, brother? It's your first time being on. How you doing?
Good, I'm fantastic, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm alive. I can't complain. But I had talked to you maybe a month, maybe a couple months ago about getting having this conversation about the topic we're gonna have today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I was happy that you accepted the invite to be on. I know you probably have some good insight on this topic, and also coming from the spiritual aspect of it as well. You know what I mean? So I don't know who that is that's loud, but no, it's all good. It's all good. Now, if y'all want to, if y'all have to step away or there's anything, y'all can always mute yourselves, and we can go from there as well. But Mr. Jeans, I appreciate you for being on.
Absolutely.
Miss Nikita, what's going on? Nikita, what's going on?
I was getting ready to knock you right in the head.
I know. But we say you like the mom of the show. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the mom of the show. My baby 19. I'm out here being Nikita. That's it. That's all.
All right. Okay. Nikita.
Right.
Nikita.
I'm doing well. How are you? How's everybody?
I'm doing all right. I just started a new job, so I ain't getting chased by dogs no more. I'm happy about that.
That's
so
right.
Yeah. So that's what's new for me. But everything is cool with you said, yeah.
Lifing, but if it wasn't, that's the bad alternative.
Yeah, and I know you got some good insight on this as well. And I think we're gonna get a lot of good different opinions and perspectives about our topic today. I don't know where George went, but anyway, Marion, what's good, cousin?
What's up?
How you doing? I wasn't sure if you was gonna make it or not. I know you thought I said yesterday.
Yeah, my Thursdays were good, so good to be back.
Okay, yeah, good to have you always welcome on the show anytime. But again, me and you, we even talked about this a little bit, yesterday back and forth. We were messaging on what was we on? Instagram. Yeah. So it's always a good conversation with me and you. We do our bickering back and forth because one way, I think the other. But good conversation. I think I'm pretty sure you'll bring a lot to the show as well as far as this topic is concerned. Did I miss anybody? No, I didn't. Well, I don't know what happened to India. I'm sure she'll be back at some point in time. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the topic up. Pros and cons of marriage. It seems like this has been a kind of a big discussion lately. You know what I mean? And people talking about how high the divorce rates are. These days. What is it? Over 50%, I believe. So, to me, it seems like there's a lot of, I'm sure there are some pros to being married, but I've also a lot of cons for, you know, the divorce rate to be above 50%. Now, everybody on this panel, now that we have Marion on, so it's not just me, but everybody besides me and Marion on here has either been married, is married, or correct?
Yes.
Okay. Nikita, you married. I don't know where everybody else is at. I just added India back on, but I don't know. Or George. But, Nikita, I want to start with you, if that's all right. How do you feel? What do you feel like pros and cons? Well, let's start with this. Let's start with the pros. Let's start with the pros of marriage.
I think that for me, the pros of marriage are, you with your person, um, and you are setting out to navigate this life with your person. Whatever situations may arise, good, bad, or indifferent, you know, you with your person. Y'all can sit down, talk about it, chop it up, whatever, and everything's cool if that's the case. I think that one of the pros of being married is also a con, and that's your life. Well, can also be a con. I'll say that your life being connected to a person. Um, if that person is that you're connected with is not doing what they're supposed to do, then that's a con. You start out okay, everything's cool. If that person, if your spouse, loses a job, or their credit score take a major dip, or they don't feel like they should participate in the marriage and the home things and the bills and everything that comes up along with it, it turns into a con. Marriage is a job, and you got to show up for it every day. It's not one of these, oh, let me get married and then just hang around. That is not that.
Okay. All right. Marion?
So yeah, like you mentioned already, I've never been married. I know just from things that I've studied either in the Bible, books I've read, but I feel like was like the weirdo kid. Like I was always watching marriages. As a little kid, like I was always concerned about being a wife, even like as a 10-year-old. Bless you, girl. So I feel like just partnership in and of itself, not to just be over spiritual right out the gate, but God said it's not good for men to be alone. And being single for as long as I have been, I can see where he get that from. I'm not saying I'm not in community with people, not saying I don't have friends and such that I do life with, but that partnership, I just feel like as you talk about going through life, that's unmatched. The cons, I would say, I would piggyback off of Nikita, is just the cons are when people aren't stewarding marriage the way they should, the way it was designed to be stewarded. That's where the cons come from. Like a comment that I made to Marcus in one of our in our conversation yesterday was, there's a whole manual on what marriage is supposed to look like. If you don't read the rule book, it's not going to look right. And the rule book that I'm talking about is the Bible, but I'm also coming from a Christian perspective. So.
Okay. Now, before we get into, we have a question asked by Jason Young, and I don't know exactly who he's referring to, but his question is, do you have children? So we've only talked to two people as far as Miss Nikita. You have children.
I do. I have 3.
Sorry, y'all. I'm back.
The youngest
Okay.
one is 19.
All right. Now, when people talk about children and marriages, it's like, I do understand that kids do, stat wise, they do better in a 2-parent household. But
In a 2-parent healthy household.
Okay, correct.
That
Yes.
part.
But does that necessarily mean that it has to be a marriage behind that?
I don't think so. Um, I feel like a loving relationships looks like a loving relationship. I feel like if your parents are in a loving relationship under the same roof and respecting one another, I believe that that looks the same to children as if they were married. I don't think it looks any
Right.
different. Now, if you're going to talk about, going into specifics about, as it relates to Christianity and things like that, of course it's different. But to a child, it doesn't look any different.
I feel that. Now, before we go any further, I didn't get to Mr. Jeans. Well, how do you feel? Pros and cons of marriage from your opinion.
Um, I'll tell you this. It looks totally different than when I first started. This is 16 years. So I think of marriage just like when you have a child from birth to to adulthood. I mean, when it start off, just like with anybody, you're in love with the child because the child is just born, so you just happy. You know, it's all just it's fluffy, and but then what happens? Life becomes real as soon as you got to change that first diaper and it smells the way it smells. So it hit different when you smell that, and that's just how marriage is. Like, oh, I envisioned that marriage would be like this, but then the reality of it hit. So I think for me, the pros of it is cultivating and building, relationship, growing together, discovering life with each other, understanding that life comes with it. Do I believe there's a con to marriage? I believe it's a con to marriage when you come into marriage with an exit strategy already. If you come in with an exit strategy, that means whatever something happens, you out the door. And I mean, that's just my opinion. I think a lot of so let me say this, not just, in a marriage, but counseling, people in marriage. You see things differently. And when you see things differently, you learn things about yourself as well. And I just believe that's one of the things, like just because, you know, you thinking it's happily ever after, that's just not a thing. That's just not reality. I think that's a con as well. We go into marriage with blinders on. We go in, I would say, percentage wise, I would say 70-30 with women as opposed, to men. Um, like when we enter marriage, I expect you to be this person. Like you're going to change and be the man or the woman that I want you to be. And then when you say I do, and that switch don't flip, then it's like, who did I marry? I'm the same
Woo!
person.
Speak, preacher. Speak.
I'm the same person that I was before. You just thought that when I said I do, it was gonna change. No, it don't. So I
Yes.
believe that's a
Yes.
con in itself.
Yes.
So you say I do. Well, I thought you was gonna start taking out the garbage, and I thought you was gonna
Yes.
start changing diapers. And
Say that.
he looking like I ain't changed diapers before.
Say that. Say that.
But
So you
and
know
I'm
what I
sorry
mean?
to
This is
cut
an
you,
example. This is an
but
example. You know what I mean?
Miss Nikita, me and you had a conversation about that, about how women feel that they can somewhat change men.
Mm-mm.
Yes, they do, and it's not right because you can't. um, I don't. I think that it's more that not necessarily change a man more than it is he won't do that with me type of vibe. So maybe he's not changing. He's just not going to exhibit that particular behavior with you. You know what I'm saying? Um, but to speak to Mr. Jean's point, um, I'm a firm believer in all relationships will rise and fall by expectations not set and expectations not met. If you
Absolutely.
have an expectation of somebody, that this is going to change once I get the title of husband or the title of wife, then you do set yourself up for failure. You knew who that person was going in. And if there were things that you considered, the requisite red flag, then those are things that you should have tried to work through prior to the I do, because they're not going anywhere. That title doesn't change who a person is at their core. If you marry a cheater, guess what? You're gonna get cheated on. I don't care if they said I do or maybe or anything like that. That's just how it's gonna go.
But wait, hold on. Because it's like, listen, there could be some dudes who was like, yes, I was a cheater, and I was doing certain things because I wasn't married. But if I decide to go ahead and ask somebody to marry me, I feel like for me to do that, it's like, all right, I'm kind of done with that lifestyle. Because me personally, I feel like if I were to get married, like that's something that I would take seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, cheating in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend is something
seriously,
but
in that conversation, if you know what I mean. But I feel like if you're a cheater and you get married and you like, you know what, I'm done with that lifestyle. I only got eyes for you, baby. But down the road, you end up cheating. Is it wrong for you to say, well, I was a cheater before you married me. This is what I do.
So is that kind of a cop out for the cheater?
It
You know
is.
what?
I think that's always a cop out for the cheater. But I also wanted to speak to the exit strategy point. I think that most people do not go into marriage with an exit strategy, but sometimes what goes on in a marriage creates the need for an exit strategy. And not
true.
necessarily
Very true.
that's what you wanted, but a person can only take so much. So we have talked and I have begged and you have pleaded and that and yeah. There comes a time where, look, this ain't working and I gotta go.
So can I speak to that? So I was
Absolutely.
listening to
Go ahead.
something somebody said. They said when you're going through marriage, if you end up in a place where you're getting frustrated about needs that you haven't expressed, but they go unmet, those unmet needs turn into what divorce lawyers say are irreconcilable differences. Because you're expecting somebody to respond to something that you have never expressed. But you hear this all the time. We've been together long enough. You should know me.
I don't
No,
think that's
that's
unfair.
not a.
That
But
is
it
unfair.
but it said a lot.
It is.
Like
It is.
we've
But
been together this long. You should know be my now. Hey
no,
man, I don't even know
that's
how to tie
never the
my
case.
shoes.
That's never the case. I I can't speak to that because I'm a talk. And if I have a problem, a situation that I feel like my needs aren't being met from A to Z, you're going to hear about it. So when I decide I'm not dealing with this anymore, it's not because I expected something out of you that I didn't tell you. I told you. And
But you
you
said
decided not to respond in kind.
talk, right? So let me bring it like why divorce is so high in the church. So here's what happens. I
I want
didn't
to hear
say
this.
anything. I didn't
Me
say
too.
anything to you because I was praying about it, and I expected God to handle it. Hmm. Hmm. So you talking to God? God ain't never tell you to talk to me, but you praying about it. But we have never communicated. But the issue is that part of the definition when you stand before God and all those witnesses, we enter into a covenant. Part of the definition is communicate. But you ain't talking to me. But you saying, well, I was looking to God to fix it. And I believe that's where a lot of marriages in the church fail because God, like Miriam said, God give you the solution to fix some things in the Bible, but you skipped over that verse. You skipping. So now you're in divorce court and you saying God healed my heart, but God could have fixed it, but you ain't you want to take one thing and not take the other. I'm praying like this. For example, I'm praying to God to help me to fix my heart so I can have sex with my spouse. Why you gotta pray to God about that? He told you what to do in the Bible. It said real clearly.
You still
So
need
what
the
you
Holy Spirit to help you sometimes
so what
because
you so what you so what you praying for? What we ain't talking? You praying, but you
you
ain't
need the
talking.
Holy Spirit to help you sometimes.
You do, but what I'm saying is you talking to God, but you like I'm asking you, hey, why you ain't giving me no nookie? And you
Because we
saying,
tired.
but
Man, I don't want to hear
but
that shit.
but you praying, but you ain't saying nothing to me.
Because we
You understand?
tired. We got
So
kids and stuff.
I don't know.
you know
I
what I mean?
guess I
This is
understand
an
what you're
example.
saying,
You know,
but
just an
I don't.
example.
That's never my issue. Because I'm telling you to your teeth. I'm not getting ready to drop no hints, give no clues, leave breadcrumbs. I'm telling you what's
She
going
said
on.
breadcrumb. But this, I mean, take it from me. You be surprised when I'm talking about in terms of percentage, how many when you get down to the root issue, we ain't talking. Like you're like, why you ain't telling me? It really comes down to that. It's I don't want to say it's simple, but communication becomes so difficult because
I,
I'm not gonna say nothing to you because I want my way. If you don't do it my way, I'm just not gonna talk.
oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
well, I hate that for whoever
So
does that.
stop it, India.
You
So,
gotta speak on a closed mouth. Don't get fed.
Right.
It's just that simple. So if you got a
uh,
problem, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You
mean,
got a problem, speak on it.
I
Talk on
agree
it.
with that, but it could be a problem. You speak on it, and then something that you thought that you may be able to talk about turns into World War III.
But
So
that's
a lot of
okay.
dudes, I don't want to just say
Touche.
dudes, but people in
Touche.
general, they will keep certain things to themselves or certain problems. Like, I'm gonna just go ahead and deal with this, ride this storm out, because if I say something, we may end up talking about something that happened 10 years ago that you were upset about.
That's why they have marriage counseling.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it sounds like that's a lot of stuff that need to get unpacked.
Counseling
But you're
only
supposed to do
helps
that
if
before,
you want to
correct?
counsel. No, you can have counseling pre-marriage, during marriage.
Right, right, right.
You can have your exit interview thing with the counselor. My thing is that I don't understand why people who can enter into basically till death do us part and have a problem with a conversation. That don't make no sense to me personally. Now, if other people get down like that, okay, all well and good. But there's nobody ever in the history of ever could say that they didn't know what was going on with Nikita, because they did every step of the way.
So is India still here? I see she up because I wanted her to explain to us because she had made a post. I don't even remember what her post said. George, you remember what it said about why she felt the way she did about marriage? She said, "Oh, somebody had recently got married. She said, she loves weddings, she loves the love and all of that type of shit. But welcome to hell. And
No.
I want her to elaborate on that a little bit. Why she say, and then if you feel like, why would you want to get married if you feel like marriage is hell?
You don't know what marriage is till you get a fall face first in it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But I always hear about how much hard work it is, and
Yes.
but I don't want to work any harder than I have to already on a regular basis. So I don't want to go to work, have to work hard, have to deal with bullshit, be out in the world dealing with bullshit, and I got to come home and do some more hard work.
It's hard work in a sense of showing up every day. You don't never, it's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. So you may come home from your hard work day and your wife done had a hard work day and she really just ain't feeling it. It's really the same premise as a relationship that you in living with somebody, but it's official. It's the same issues, but because a relationship, you don't gotta go pay nobody to get these people to fuck out your face. Then it's different.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I've never been married. Now that's something I want to ask all of y'all. Was marriage something that was always a goal of yours? We'll start with Mr. James. I don't know if he's muted. Yeah, we can't hear you.
He's on mute.
Now it seems like his mute is off.
Oh.
I don't know what happened. Let's try this. I'll bring him back on. Yeah, no, we still can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Everybody else is good. But why? I have no idea what's up. I'll try to put him back out again and bring him back on. But while we doing that, Nikita, is that something marriage was that always like a goal of yours from a young age, or?
Unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to pose it, it was. Yeah, it was initially for sure.
Okay.
I didn't think it would take as long as it did for me to get married, but when it happened, you know, I thought, oh, this is cool. You know what I mean? And there you go.
Yeah. So
yeah.
now, Marion, I know marriage is something that, you know, I know that you want for your life, but that's something that you've always wanted.
Since I was a little kid, I always had dreams of going to college and all that stuff. All that was rooted in my household. I used to say, yeah, I want to do this and I want to get this degree and all that because that's what's going to sustain my household. If I know that I can be in a healthy and successful household with my husband and my kids without going to school, I wouldn't go to school. But that was like everything that, from a little kid, from like elementary through my 20s, it was all centered around that. It was building that family. So yeah.
So did you want to be married and be a woman that I'm married, I don't have to work anymore, my man is going to take care of me and the kids, you know?
I used to, all of our family thinks I'm crazy because I joke and I say I would have lived in Alice's life, no problem with,
And for the people who don't know, you have to explain what Aunt Alice's life was.
So my Aunt Alice, my grandfather's sister, God rest her soul, she lived the week before her 99th birthday. She had 14 pregnancies, 12 kids, I believe. So some of the Moors can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, 14 pregnancies, 12 kids. She got married at 18 and lived a God-fearing life as a wife and a mother, and I would have done it.
Yeah, but I think things like that are very, very like not even plausible anymore. I mean, yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
do it.
now I know that in
You can do
2023, but in 2001, I was like, I do it.
Yeah.
So, and I still I would have had other kids if I would have, I had I had my son when I was 21. If me and his dad would have got married, yeah, we could have kept on going, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, we got my man Poke in the building. What's going on, Poke? How you doing?
What up?
Not much, man. I see you. We spoke a little bit already, so you know what the topic is.
Oh, shout out to my cousin Jazz in the comments.
Who?
Jazz.
Oh, okay. Stu. But yeah, Poke, before you got on, you know what I mean, we had I'd let everybody know that you were gonna be on, and you know, you've been divorced, recently remarried. So, I just, since you're just coming on, what do you feel like the pros of being married are? Because you're just popping on, bro. So now you just don't getting thrown right into the fire.
Oh, Poke got married?
Poke got married.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Marion. Thank you.
Wait, when's the next wedding for the next wife?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just playing.
Damn.
I'm just playing.
That was so rude. But hello to everybody though, man. Everybody on the panel, Nikita.
Hey,
The pros of marriage, right?
or cons, or.
Yeah, you could do both.
Hold on 1 second, please.
Will do. Mr. James, I don't know if we can still hear you. I see that your mic is muted. I can't unmute it. I think you would have to do
So
it.
can you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
hear me now?
we can hear you. Yeah. So
Okay.
while Poke is doing his thing, what was the question I even asked you? I can't even remember now.
Was it always a goal?
Oh yes. Was it always a goal of yours? Because I don't really hear a lot of men saying, I wanted to be married since I was 5.
Heck no. I did not really start thinking about marriage until I hit 25. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, because I respected it, like what I seen in my own household. I just there's a lot of things I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that until I know that I am ready. And once I hit 25, I'm like, okay, this is something that I really want to do. I just respected the sanctity of it that much because of what I seen. I'm talking about good, bad, and different. I seen the negative of marriage. I seen positive. So I'm like, okay, until I'm ready to approach it the correct way,
He's breaking up. Yeah, he froze up. I don't know if he's in a bad area. I could look like he's in a car.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah, so we kind of missed out on the last part that you said because it was breaking up. Still frozen. But yeah. All right, Pope, go ahead, man. So if you want to give us the, your take on the pros or cons or both.
All right. So pros and cons of getting married, especially for men. I understand the argument from a lot of men that it's like, yo, what's the benefit of a man being married? Like, I'm not going to play around and pretend like I don't hear this stuff and totally disagree. But for me personally, my moral compass, the pros of getting married is building something and building your legacy, building something that will last beyond you. I feel like we get on women sometimes, or a lot of times, for supposedly really not knowing their worth. Women say, I know my worth, but sometimes they bloviate their worth. But in reverse, men bloviate their worth as well. So I feel like there's really only 10% of men that should be totally against marriage. And that is men that is high value, wealthy, or extremely successful. Those men have something to think about. But for the 80%, 70% of men that is making between $60,000 to $100,000, these are men that really, really, really need a valuable partner in life. If you want to build something substantial for your children after you're gone. So the pro of marriage is the ability to build faster and more effectively. Secondly, mainly because that is a second income, whether she makes significantly less than you, whether she makes equally as you, that is still 2 incomes. So whatever it is that you're trying to build, that can be accomplished faster with her. But secondly,
maybe.
Her mind.
That's
her mind.
Maybe. That's maybe. She may not want to work.
No, listen, if she works at the Dollar General and she brings in $20,000, whatever it is that she's bringing in, that is more to your collective pot. Okay. And also you have to marry well. You don't want to marry a woman that's about nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So if you marry
Yeah,
well,
I'm just saying because for the sake of some listeners, there are women out there who will voice, I don't want to work. If I marry a man who's making six figures, well, do I really need to? Can I stay home and take care of the kids, or is that also valuable as well as well as working?
all right. So that's going into my second point. The man has to know his actual worth. Okay. Now, if you are a man and you're making $150,000 or more, then you can be totally selective in the woman that you want. You want to bring in a submissive woman that possibly don't want to do absolutely nothing, and you do everything. That's cool. But men nowadays got to be way more real with themselves. If you are making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, and you really have these goals of building something, you really do need a second income. You really do. Now, whether that woman makes 30,000, 40,000, whatever, you need that. So there's a lot of men out here nowadays that's associating themselves with high value men, and they're not high value men. They're financially competitive men. They're financially attractive men, but they're not high value men. So I speak about this all the time when I say that people need to know how to mate and know how to be on the same level, come together to build something greater. But the bottom line is the pro of marriage is having a partner that can complement you financially, having a partner that can complement you in the mind emotionally. A lot of times, like, who wants to walk through life with only their mindset when you only make $70,000 a year? See, so basically where you've gotten in life will get you $70,000 a year. You didn't become a millionaire. You ain't out here making $200,000, $250,000 a year. So how would it hurt you if God bless you with another intelligent mind that can possibly unlock secrets about yourself, that can possibly motivate you about yourself, that can possibly bring another income that's greater than you in other areas than yourself? Now you cooking with oil. Now you cooking with oil. But a lot of men is on this whole, I want a submissive woman, I'm a high value man, but you're not though. You're not. You are not that. And it really blows my mind. It really blows my mind for the men that's out here making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year. They're talking about they don't need a wife. Lies. You absolutely need a wife.
Need one?
You don't need a wife. If you don't
need
want
a
a wife,
wife.
you don't need a wife.
Okay, let me correct myself. You don't need a wife if you're not trying to build something, but if you're trying to build something, you do need a wife because you need a second income. And all right, am I speaking?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're right.
Thank you so much. But you do need a wife from two aspects. If you're trying to build something, you need another income, and also you need another mind. You need someone to tell you when you're slipping. You need someone to tell you when you're making bad decisions. You need someone to possibly pick up your kids. You need someone to take care for your kids and love your kids. You need a partner if you're only making that amount of money, because you got to figure out how can I get to a different level? How can I get to that different level? So
just question real quick. So is marriage not much about love anymore? Nobody's that kind of like out the window.
No, I didn't get to that. The last part is this. And I'm only speaking for myself. When I'm 60, 70 years old, you know what I mean? I don't want to be down in Florida walking on the beach by myself. I definitely want me a lovely woman that loves and cares about me by my side. Okay. Not only that, today, when I'm taking trips, when I'm going to Jamaica, where I'm going somewhere, I want companionship. Like, I don't understand these guys that act like companionship doesn't fucking matter, because it actually does. We've been put here for companionship. Yeah, I mean, if you're Christian, you believe in your Bible, the whole idea of Adam and Eve was companionship. That was the whole point. You know what I mean? So No, I just started out with the financial. I started out with the financial, and now I'm on the companionship part about it. But the part that can't be missed the most is a woman's mind. A woman's mind.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I 100% agree with that. But it seems to me like a lot of things that can be done in marriage or being married to somebody, you can do with a life partner. Or, you know what I mean? So you don't necessarily have to be married to get all of these things that everybody is naming.
You can, but you haven't. See, that's the trick of it. When you decide to marry someone, you are in front of God and in front of that person saying that, yo, I have reached a level of maturity in my life where I will commit myself to you. And this takes a level of discipline that if you have that, now you will receive the fruits of that labor. But now if you just want to be a playboy, or if you just want to be, yeah, we're together, but really you're not, you're never really going to receive the fruits of that woman's labor. It's a reward for your level of maturity and discipline. That's what it is. You've grown to a point where you take someone so seriously, you appreciate what they bring to the table so much that you grow up and change your desires. Now you will be rewarded for that.
So for these people to get to this level of maturity, to be married with somebody, to be committed and all of that, why is it that you believe that marriage divorce rates are over 50%? What is it?
You asking me?
Yeah. What is it? 1 in 3, 1 in 4 marriages end in divorce?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's just a result of the society we live in. That results from picking wrong. You picking wrong, and that results from you. So, for instance, I've been divorced. So I could easily be like, yeah, I picked wrong. No, I was fucking up. So then you go back to the drawing board. You fix yourself. But all I'm saying is this. I don't focus on the divorce rate, because let's look at the rate of just relationships that go wrong. Nobody never looks at relationships that fail. Nobody never looks at all these children that's been born out of wedlock and that fails. Nobody looks at the rate of baby moms and baby dads that hate each other. Nobody looks at that, but everybody will look at the divorce rate and be like, hey, it's a 50% rate. I'm willing to take that 50% chance that this shit will work, because there's a reward to it. There is absolutely no reward to being a playboy. Ain't no reward to it. None.
Poke, marriage
Zero.
look good on you, boy. I tell you.
Wait, zero reward?
Zero.
You can't think of one thing for being a single bachelor that there's anything rewarding about that.
Yo, hear me and hear me real good. Hear me good, because I've done that. I did it. Okay. And nobody never talks about this. From being a single bachelor, you get kids out of wedlock. You get these baby moms that you can't stand. You get diseases. And also, having a lot of women is annoying, is problematic, is exhausting, and financially expensive. That's the other part that nobody talks about. The more women you got, you're going to spend way more money. I'm having a hard time thinking of like the plus of being a playboy at a certain age. When you're in your 20s and your 30s and you're single, so what? But man, when you're pushing way past 40, tell me what good is of it knocking down more women? Like at what point do you be like, okay. I mean, it costs a lot of money. It's a lot of fucking damage to you mentally. And not only that, you're just giving away your meat. like how much do you value yourself? So no, I mean, young Poke, that's different. But like over 40, like, come on, man. You know what I mean? I'm trying to build something before I leave.
Do you feel like there should be? Do you feel like people should be married in their 20s? You think that's a good
No, no,
idea?
no. Go ahead and have
Anybody?
your fun.
Any
No, you need to
anybody?
have your fun.
Anybody want to rebut that? Marriage in their
Um,
20s?
the only thing I'll say is twofold. I kind of agree with him a little bit because a lot of decisions that me and my ex made was because we were so young. But I feel like if we had community around us trying to help us to salvage the relationship, it might have lasted. I'm not saying I should have married him because we are two totally different people at this point. But our relationship ended the way it did because I was postpartum and we both were just young and dumb and immature. So I get that. But also when he says the only rebuttal I really have is when he said go have your fun. Not everybody, that's not fun to everybody. It wasn't to me. Like I always wanted to be in relationships. So
All right, we got another guy who just popped in. My man Troy, what's going on?
What's good, big dog?
How you feeling? Now I see you got a lot. I see you got a lot to say.
I'm very balanced, bro. I'm very balanced.
And I'm sorry. I thought I had been sent you the link to hop on. You're supposed to be one of the original people to get on, so I apologize about that.
That's all good. That's all good.
But
so
yeah,
what y'all want? Y'all want a spiritual answer? Y'all want a physical answer? Which one? What y'all want? I can give y'all. I can break it down from the first marriage and explain it to you, or I can break it down in the physical and explain it to you. A physical marriage, when you go to the Beaver County Courthouse, all that is business. It's a business contract that states, I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, and your ass do what you say you're going to do. If not, the court will decide who gets what, period. That has nothing to do with God. Not a damn thing to do with God. The first marriage is Adam and Eve. And if we look at that marriage, it is very simple. It is very clear. There is no courthouse. There is no Beaver County Courthouse. There is no place that they go to. They simply do things in a certain way in the eyes of God. And basically, that's it. So it's one. I see so many people in this world. They are married from the courthouse, but they ain't married in the eyes of God. They're just not, because they're not doing anything that God says to do in that marriage. It is very, like, most people just read Genesis and they just read Adam and Eve and they just read the story. They can't read between the lines.
So hold on, let me ask this real quick, because me and Marion, we Marion, you spoke on this, and I like everybody's opinion on it. I don't want to say it to where it makes it, sound bad, you know what I mean? But basically, it was like, hey, if you're not going to follow the manual of marriage, which is the Bible, correct? Should we even do it if you're not a religious or a Christian?
Wait, because there's a caveat to that.
Okay, go ahead.
This is off of my comment that I made to in a separate conversation. I stand by that a little bit. I stand by that by people who are always looking for a reason not to do it. If you don't see the benefit and you're not, I would say at least in an Abrahamic religion, that's Judaism, Muslim, Christian. If you're not in one of those three religions and you sitting here trying to look for a reason not to get married, you probably shouldn't. At the same time, what Nikita said earlier was true, that if you have a household and y'all living together, y'all been together for 20 some years, and you got kids, you paying mortgage, all that stuff, and it looks the same in kids' eyes. The part that gets messed up where you don't get married is, what if something happened to you? Who got power of attorney over you? Who's making your medical decisions? Who is making sure that your assets are divided?
Where's your business
properly?
partner?
Yeah, properly, so that your wife, or your girlfriend, I guess, and kids are being properly taken care of. Like, what if your mom don't like your girlfriend and then she take all your money and then your kids is left without nothing? Like, it's a safeguard. So outside of that, though, if you're not gonna, because I think Troy's gonna get into it about all the spiritual benefits. It does start to look lopsided if you don't count the spiritual side. If you're not in a certain religion, I can only speak for Christianity because that's what I am. For us, the wife is the guard dog. in the spirit. So if you ain't got a praying woman and you don't believe in prayer, then there's a lot of stuff you missing out on that you like, well, I don't see what the point is. Like, I get it, so don't.
Yeah.
So,
And she says that, I'm sorry, because I said I don't believe in prayer. Now, when I say that,
you pray every day though, Marcus. You just don't know that. You don't understand prayer.
And I need you to elaborate on that real quick.
Prayer is nothing more than self-positive talk. Most people think God is external. Most people think God is above. God is right here. You are God. The Holy Spirit, each religion calls it something different. All right. It's all the same. Nothing new under the sun. You know, I studied every single religion. I took 4 years trying to discredit Jesus Christ. I took 4 years of diving into everything that I could possibly find. Because you know what? I got so tired of Western Christianity and the Mandela effect and the bull. Like when somebody says certain things to you as a Christian, your soul, everything inside of you says, what? But then we're trained in church to just yell, amen. I honestly see people yell amen when it don't make no damn sense. But Western Christianity had made me so angry. I went to a whole bunch of different religions trying to understand different things. And what I found out is, as all of us here are different and we all think different, just like Marcus, you don't believe in Christianity. You know, some people do, some people don't. Some people don't believe in this. What I realize is God is smarter than all of us. Do we all agree on that? Okay.
Yes.
So he knew everybody.
Whatever you want to call the higher power. Whatever you want to call the higher power, yes.
Correct. Exactly. The universe, God, whatever it is to you. That's what I tell people. Whatever brings you spirituality, I don't care what you call it. I really don't. Because everybody that's spiritual, whether they're a Christian or a Muslim, if they're really spiritual, they're a good person. They do good things. They help people. They make things, you know, just a better person all around, everywhere. What the hell was I just saying? I forgot.
But I think you were, the last thing you were talking about is, you know, you were doing everything to try to discredit.
Yeah, so I try to discredit everything. And basically what I found is God knew that we all thought differently. So just me, he made multiple ways to him. Now, the only caveat I have to that, and this is what I tell people, in all of the scriptures I studied, only one person says, but through me, you cannot get to the Father. That is one part that bothers me, because in all religion, every religion that I dove down, they all have good things to say about Jesus. You know, and Jesus is just his nickname. I know there wasn't a J. And I'll break that all down to people like my daddy. Everybody knows my daddy is Willie Cooper, okay? Everybody knows Billy Boy, okay? Some people call him Willie, some people call him Billy. So I call him Dad. Some people call him Uncle. Some people call him Billy Boy. Some people call him Coop. I'm his son. I spend the most time with him. I know him by all his names. Do you get where I'm going here? I know my father by all his names, nickname and regular name. So the more time that you actually spend in the spiritual, you're going to see, okay, hold up. Buddha ain't nothing. They just took Jesus' story and changed a few things. All religion is when somebody gets mad at the basketball court, they take their ball and go create a new one. That's it. But back to the marriage thing. And what God sees and all that stuff. Like, just say a topic on hand. I digress. Sorry, I went that way. There's certain things that God just it's better. Like I tell people, if you're a physical being, if you're still primal and you haven't elevated your consciousness, get a physical contract. That you need that. You need that. Too many niggas is playing games. Too many hoes is playing games. Listen. Here's why I don't care about marriage. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give y'all my story. I ain't going to say no names. Y'all might be able to put it together, but I don't care. I had a relationship. Parents were both pastors. We were cheating on each other. You know, let's keep it a being. Like everybody's been in a relationship where you live at home. She's doing what she want to do. You doing what you want to do. And y'all both pretending like you don't know. And at the end of the day, guess what? Just don't be disrespectful and let me catch your dumb ass. That's
keep it out my face.
Yes. Respectfully cheat on me, ho. That's what it is. That's all it is. And so that's where I was with it. She didn't respectfully cheat, and I caught her. So now here come the double standards and the hypocrites.
Were you ever caught? Were you ever caught?
I'm too good, bro.
Okay, so you were never caught. All right.
If I was caught, it was on purpose to prove a point because I wanted them to feel how I felt. I'm very logical. I'm not crazy like most people think. I'm that person where if you play in my face enough, it's like, all right, they clearly think I can't take it there. Let's have fun. I'm good at games. Like, so it's just that.
My question, and I guess this can even go back into the spiritual aspect of it. I don't really know, but this is a question for open panel question. Where did it become? Because I honestly really don't know, and this is even for the listeners as well. Where did it get to the point to where it was just one person?
New Testament.
Because we
New Testament became.
Is Christianity the only religion that only allows you to be married to one person or
monogamy wasn't introduced into the New Testament?
Okay.
If you look at everything, see, you got to understand, like if you guys really like read the Bible, concubines ain't nothing but like a good, basically a nice name for a side hoe.
Correct.
Keep it a being. Keep it a being. Keep it a being. And if you look at all the great people, like come on, King David, my boy, one of my best friends is Xavier Henry. King David, basically, I sent Zay to war to get killed so I can have his bitch. And he was still blessed by God. You can't ignore that stuff. Is it right?
There's some things that happen in between there.
There's a lot that happened. He got a lot of reaping and sowing. He got a lot. He got a lot of that.
Yeah,
he got a lot of that.
There's a lot of stuff that he didn't just get blessed just for the sake of it. Like, come on now.
Correct. So, he did not. He did not. But what I'm saying is, if you go in there and you look, how many wives did he have?
A lot.
How many concubines?
A lot.
But now we follow the Protestant Bible and the 66 books in it and its agenda. The Protestant Bible is the word of God. However, the agenda of it was for crowd control. There's a reason why a lot of niggas get mad and say it's a slave book. It's because when they did the canonization, which took a millennia, they basically hand-selected spiritual scripture to have a certain agenda. And that agenda is to control. I'm gonna be very bold to say it. It's to control us. It was created for that. That's why they wanted you to be monogamous now, because they can control.
Then it is a slave book. Then those niggas was right. It is a slave book.
Say that again.
You said that the book was intended to control, right?
So the Protestant Bible. So basically, the Protestant Bible is only 25% of God's word, God's true word. Okay, it's only 25%. You can look it up. Everything I'm saying, I don't spread the Mandela effect. So anything that I speak, I've already done the research. And I always encourage people to go look at it so then you can be like, holy shit, this guy kind of smart. So the Protestant Bible, basically what happened, I'm going to break it down, and this is an oversimplification. It took a millennia. That's 1,000 years. There was 9 generations of white people and maybe one black person on the panel. And they went through all the spiritual texts and they said, okay, we're going to decide to only keep this shit in it. We're going to keep these 66 books in it because it shows a perfect life of what we want people to be. It guides them in the direction that we want. There's a whole, Judas has his own book. Mary has a book about Jesus growing up as a child. Like there are so many books, and nowhere in scripture does it say that man was supposed to decide which spiritual scriptures we're supposed to study. However, Western Christianity has taken those 66 books and ran with it. At the end of the day, the Holy Spirit is on the inside of you. And what you should do is you should read every spiritual canon that you can get your hands on and allow the Holy Spirit to guide you. Sometimes I pick up a book and throw it in the trash because the Holy Spirit like, nah, bro, that ain't it.
Hey, brother. So what is your opinion on the pros and cons of marriage?
Pros and cons of marriage. If you're in the physical, if you're a physical person, you can't control that horny. You know, you still want to go out there and do what you want to do. Get a physical marriage because that's going to protect you from the hoe. That's going to protect you from the whore. That's going to protect you from losing stuff. That's going to protect you from all of that. That's what that's going to do. If you are spiritual, you know. And if you're in the eyes of, like, it's just gonna come naturally. Like, spiritual people understand, like, if you're a spiritual person, before you got married, you felt that marriage already. You felt that union. You know, we felt that union sometimes as kids when our first loves. You felt that type. So my pros and cons are this. Real fast. Let me get back to the real fast. Let me get back to my story because we got off track. So my story was, I had, when my first marriage, we were going back and forth. Her mom came to me. She's a pastor. She said, listen, my daughter is calling out for marriage. I've raised her right. She knows that if she marries you, she has to be faithful. All right? What's my black ass do? So I'm like, okay, let's get married. She like, okay, I'm gonna set the wedding up and anything. I said, nah, I love God. We can get married right here in this living room. Y'all both reverends. She wants to get married. If that's gonna stop the cheating, let's say this shit right now. We did that. I still end up getting cheated on. Yeah. And ever since then, I realized that the physical contract of marriage ain't shit. It ain't got nothing to do with God. It ain't got anything to do with God. But if you have somebody that truly loves God with all his heart, you don't need the physical contract. You don't need it. You just don't. I know it sounds good and looks good, but if you want the benefits, back to what Marion said, if you do want those benefits, then yes, go get it. But it's not necessary, but you do need those benefits. Because like if the CEO of if Vince McMahon died right now, that business contract states how everything runs and nothing falls off track.
Right.
Monday Night Raw is going to be on next Monday. You know, It's going to keep rolling. That's what the physical contract does. It allows everything in the physical to keep rolling if you are not able to basically participate in it.
So if you are a man of business, if you're about your business, isn't it in your benefit to be married?
It depends. Is she an asset or a liability?
Brother, you're picking well. You're choosing correctly.
Okay. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Then yes.
So
100%.
now that I chose correctly, I could be boyfriend and girlfriend with her, or I could be husband and wife. What should I do?
That's that common sense, bro. That's common sense, bro. We should, like, if somebody, here's the deal that most people don't want to admit. I didn't want to get married when I was young because I didn't want these hoes to stop talking to me. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean, fellas. When a woman wants to get married and you're not ready, you don't want the hoes to get mad. Am I lying?
Right.
Correct.
Like, that's all I was thinking about in that living room when I was getting married. Like, these hoes about to stop fucking with me. At 25 years old, that's all I thought about.
Because what I've been told, you know, I don't think this is all across the board, but a lot of people will say, once you get married and women see that ring, single women see it, they want to give you more play.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Now I want
that's something that women don't want to talk about right there, because that is something crazy there.
I still don't understand that. Other than the only thing I can think of is this, I don't know, like, it's because my ex, that's all she cheated on me with was other women's men. Men. I'm like, yo. That's
as a man, though, if I see a ring on a woman's finger, you know, anybody who's just, and I see a ring, the last thing I'm trying to do is talk to her.
So as I see in a relationship, bro, I'm out of it.
You know, that's nor here nor
I agree.
But when I see a ring, you see a ring, she's off limits, bro. Like, I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do nothing. Now, because dudes will kill you about their wife.
Dudes will kill you about they hoe ass girlfriend. How many people have we lost over the years? True.
Well, a
lot of these killings in Alaquippa, let's keep it a bean. It ain't about drugs or nothing.
Well, I think that's across the board in America. A lot of things happen to men behind women a lot of times. You know, I feel like men do a lot of things to impress women. A lot of women want to blame us for everything, but yeah, goddamn it, y'all are really the root of all the fucked up shit that really happens on this.
Here's my thing with women. Here's my biggest problem with women. I hold women more accountable in this situation because in this dynamic,
you guys are the stronger species. Do you understand that? Here's what I'm telling you what I tell my oldest daughter who's in her second year of college. This is what I tell her as a father. Baby, a man's gonna pay 200% for your pussy. What is it worth? And I'm not talking about financial value. If your pussy is worth a couple shots at the bar, well, bitch, I'm gonna buy you a bottle. If your pussy is worth Netflix and chill, we can go to the movies and a dinner.
I don't hear no lies for real.
If your coochie has value and you want marriage, you want a house, a car, commitment, and all that shit, guess what we gonna do, fellas? Tell them what we gonna do, fellas.
We're gonna do it.
200%. We are gonna pay you what you think your pussy is worth. So I tell my baby, make that value high. Because we don't know what the fuck the cost really is, and we just gonna throw it at you.
You know, speaking of that, and you know, we could throw this in with the marriage thing. I posted a reel yesterday of Brittany, what's her name? Brittany Renner, is that her name? She was on Club Shay Shay.
Mm-hmm.
And she made the comment that, you know, she's been with 35 men. So I asked the question, is that a lot of bodies for a woman?
I just got on a conversation.
You know what, Marcus?
Most women don't just come out and say.
How old is she?
How many women? I don't know. She's got to
So
be
here's the math.
She's younger than us.
Early
I'm 30.
30s.
So here's the math I did. I'm 37, right? I started having sex in 5th grade.
That's
I didn't
very
realize
early.
Listen, it's Aliquippa. I'm not gonna get into it. I didn't know I lost my virginity till 8th grade. So y'all understand that my hypersexual activity comes from somewhere. And people always give men a bad rap, but I wasn't fucking myself. You get what I'm saying? At 5th grade.
I think this is a good question. I said, here's the question that should also be asked. If women should value themselves higher, why don't men do the same for themselves?
Women should value themselves because in this dynamic, you guys are Walmart and we are the shoppers. I can't come into Walmart and tell them what the fuck I want to pay. They have to set the price. Like, women are so powerful. You guys don't understand. Like, you got a bunch of men just ask, like, bro, I've done some stupid shit over some coochie to get some coochie, bro. Like, I've walked miles, like in rain. Like, like you guys just don't understand. If you learn how powerful that pussy was and what a man would actually do,
I made a
post. The world.
I made a post about that yesterday. As far as, you know, I think it was said something like, "What is the craziest thing you, as a man, you've done?"
I'm still not answering it.
You're right. You did not answer when I was still waiting for that. But like I said, I walked an hour and 45 minutes from Monaca Road to Penn State Beaver, and so it's like, yeah, that for a motherfucker to walk. You know, shit, I think it was a Sunday. Buses wasn't running. I'm like, shit, I ain't got no way out there, but I want that shit.
That's what men like. And that's it. Like, it's really like, that's why I hold women in this dynamic more accountable. Because, like, if you guys
can I answer that question?
Go
ahead.
I think that question came from Jesse, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it back up again.
This is the thing. Men, their value is always on display. Men don't get nothing that they don't deserve. I find it real funny. Like, you know, I see stuff on Facebook sometimes. Women be like, "Oh, I'll leave him. I'll leave him." What men gotta understand, like, if you got a dime once, you can get a dime again. No doubt about it.
And you could be ugly.
And also, as we get, great point, actually, you could be ugly as hell. Now, you do got to be in shape.
Can I touch on that real fast?
But no. Let me finish my point.
Go ahead, finish.
As a man gets older, his value increases because he makes more money and he's smarter and he's wiser. He makes better decisions. He's a better leader. All of that stuff improves, and our looks don't matter as much. Now, a woman on the other hand, a woman can experience almost any man she wants as a young woman, like say 18, 20, 22, stuff like that. If that woman got a nice butt, a nice body, whatever, she experiences any man she wants, no matter what her character is. She could be the biggest piece of shit in the fucking world. But if she is built or she's good looking, she can experience fucking a Pittsburgh Steeler, anyone, right? So to answer Jesse's question, listen, our value is what we have in life is a direct reflection of our value. We get nothing for free, ever, never. Women, on the other hand, when they're younger, they get the freebies. Now, as they get older, that stuff starts to change.
Value goes down.
So we got to be in shape. We got to make sure we're making good money. We got to be good communicators. We got to have some game. If you want a dime piece, if you really want to live that life, if you want to be a player out here, if you want to say, oh man, I knocked down a bunch of women, you better be in shape. You better be good looking. You better make a little bit of money, and you better be able to communicate well. Those four things.
Hold on. When you said, if you had a dime once, you can get a dime again. I know some dudes that done had some badass women, or not, in a relationship with them. But it was like on some sympathy shit. Her mama died. He was there for her. You know what I'm saying? And
no. But Marcus, what you're describing is a woman
again if he wanted to. He couldn't get another woman like that if he tried.
No, but what you're describing is a woman that gave him some coochie on some sympathy shit. I'm saying a man that was in a relationship with a dime piece. You know what I mean? If you were in a relationship, if you bagged a dime piece, okay? If let's say you fucked up, you was a bad person, you fucked up and she left you, you get another one. You will. But you got, of course, you got to believe you will. You got to know you can. Right. But if you got one baddie once, you can get it again. Because baddies don't be with men for free. They don't be with men for free. They might,
I agree with that. But my question behind that, when I brought up the Brittany Renner thing, when she says, she had slept with 35 men. Is that something that, do you feel like that would decrease her value to be married to somebody? For blatantly just coming out and saying something like that?
Absolutely.
That would decrease her value for a man with little dick energy. I'm gonna keep it a bean with that. Because here's why. If she started fucking at 16, right? And she's 35, that means she fucked 1.8 dudes per year. That's it.
Man, turn it out, man.
Look, do the math. Bro, we come from Alaquippa, where everybody starts having sex at a very young age, okay? So everybody got bodies. Now, there's an exception to this rule. There are some people who got stuck in the house and they didn't. But we come from a very hypersexual fucking community, period. Hypersexual community. That's where we come from. So I am almost willing to bet the majority of females and males, by the time they reach 35, they are over 35 bodies.
That's not the point. That's not the point, though.
It doesn't.
Do I want to marry this person?
Yeah. The point is, do you want to marry this person, bro?
Yes, I would. If she was ready to. If she elevated her consciousness like I have, I got way more bodies than that, bro. I got way more bodies. But
is that expected now? Is that expected for men though?
What do you mean?
Because I look at it like this. If I say, hey,
it's expected, but it doesn't mean it's right.
I agree with that, but for me to tell a man to tell a woman, hey, I've been with 100 women. I'm like, I don't think a woman's gonna be like, yeah, damn, nigga, that's way too many for me. But if a woman's to be like, I done took 100 dicks, and she's being honest about this shit and running down the names, you're gonna be like,
now 30 to 100, bro. I ain't saying she can't beat me.
Why? I mean, if it doesn't matter, 35, 100, whatever the case is,
because I'm from Alaquippa and I'm gonna keep it a beam. Every time we say something, like we always have a little bit of hypocrite in what we say, and I'm gonna be very hypocritical here. Women are internal. If you have an STI and I fuck you, there's only like a 30% chance that a male's gonna get it.
Agreed. Right.
If I have an STI and I fuck you raw, it's 100% chance she gets it because it's internal. So 30, like literally, like my number, like Poke, ain't that far off from 35, bro. It's like you got like 2 more, bro. 2 more, and it's like, nah, girl. It's like 2 more. But
they say you need to multiply that number. Whatever number a woman gives you, you need to multiply by
times 3.
Why do like as men, why do we have such a problem of saying, I just don't want that shit? Like for instance, a woman, there's no problem with a woman saying, yo, I want a tall man. I don't like short guys. I want a man with money. I don't want a broke dude. You know what I mean? As a man, I don't want a woman that's been passed around a lot. But furthermore, most importantly, I don't want a woman that has no shame at all and thinks that it's good and cool and awesome that she has sex with a lot of men. That's the part that really fucking that's what would turn me off. Where it's like, yo, you think that this is the right thing to do because to me, you don't have no more value. You know what I mean? Would I smash? Yeah, I smash, but I can't be with you, and I definitely can't marry you because you're the same person that bragged about being with 35 women. And that goes, you know what I mean? Like nowadays, nobody has no shame. You know what I mean? People talk about eating booty for Christ's sakes. Nobody stops and say, yo, that ain't the fucking coolest thing to fucking be doing. Yeah, I did it, but was it the coolest thing to fucking be doing? No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was a little younger. I was a little younger in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, you really didn't hear women.
You would lie.
Proud
you
to
would lie.
say
You would lie, bro.
They are hoes, you know.
You would lie and say you don't eat coochie.
Correct. I got a question for Nikita and Marion. A man that you know that has been around, you know, he's been with plenty of women. Does that decrease his value as a husband to you guys?
Yeah, it's not attractive to me.
Okay, so well, go ahead.
Go ahead. Keep going. And then I want Nikita to answer.
So here's my thing. So you and Poke are on the same deal. Here's my problem with that. If you look at the facts and the reality, Marion, you're a couple years younger than me. I don't know how much you got the same grade as me. We probably around the same age. You might be a little bit older than me. Everybody within our age bracket is gonna have at least 20, 15 to 20. Okay, and if like sexual partners.
No, you talking about men have that?
No, there's some men that haven't. Believe it or not, there's some men that ain't got that many bodies.
Wait. Time out. Hold on. And I know we've gotten off I feel like this.
I'm about to say, like, what's the topic? What's the topic here?
I feel like this all kind of does because I'm trying to tie it back into the marriage thing as far as, you know what I mean. Does it devalue a man or a woman? You know, we've already discussed that as far as being married to them. And is that a con to wanting to be married to somebody? Now, another question that I have is, do you only feel some kind of way about it? Because like Troy said, we are from a small town and a lot of people know about her past. If people don't know about this woman's past, does it make it easier? Even if she does tell you, but everybody else don't know about it, does it make it easier to lock in with this woman?
Hell yeah.
I need to hear from the ladies, man. I want to hear what they got to say.
Yeah, so one thing first of all, when I saw that clip yesterday with Brittany Renner, and my mind immediately went back to the I think it was an episode back in February that we were on with Candy and Shay, and I forget. Did you say 200?
Who said 200?
200 bodies wasn't a lot for a man. Almost. Okay.
See, listen, I
was wondering. I'm saying, so for somebody who thinks that a man with 200 bodies is not a lot, like, I wonder how they view a woman with 35. Like,
but that's why
I was curious about that. I'm nowhere near that.
My caption on the reel that I shared was, is 35 a is 35 bodies a lot for a woman? You know what I'm saying? Because when I look at it from a man's point of view, and again, this part doesn't really have to do with, you know, the marriage, but I feel like it's extremely easy. Like Troy said something about 20, and it's like, bro, a nigga can get 20 bodies in six months to a year. You know, and so I feel like it's I mean, it's easier for women
but
to
we
rack.
gotta take
It's a
something
lot
into
easier
account.
for women to rack up bodies than it is for men, because we have sex with who we can. Y'all have sex with who y'all want
But
to.
without diving into it, Marcus, a lot of men aren't like me and you, bro. Me and you, there's an exception to that. When it comes to me and you, there's an exception because I have had sex with who I want. Don't get me wrong. I have.
I mean, yeah,
Like
you know that. But I think a lot of
men can't do it.
I think a lot of dudes, we've had those times where it's like, hey, listen, I'm taking one for the team today. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gonna want to go home if she don't get no dick, and she gonna take her friend with her. My homie's trying to fuck with her. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know,
everybody's done
do
that,
what
bro.
it is for, you know, for the team. So I don't like to call people ugly, but I've dealt with people
Not
who
God's best work.
that weren't the most attractive. You know what I'm
Unusually
saying?
unattractive.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Nikita, I want you to chime in on that as well. As far as, do you feel like it devalue a man's value is decreased because he's been with a lot of women to be married to?
I think that the question kind of depends on what stage you're catching him in.
I love it.
If you talking about, you know, a man who's 23, 25 years old, and you like, oh, well, you know, how many bodies you got? 9 times out of 10, he's not going to even tell you the truth. But if he does, then you have a decision to make. Okay, does him saying he got 50 bodies mean that he gonna get 50 more in our relationship together? Because if you feel that way, then you're not fucking with him. So if you look at what his past is, then that's his past. You don't want to be judged for your past, so why would you judge him for his? And that's how I feel about it. Now, does that mean that, oh, you know, well, if he got 50 bodies, he must got, you know, gonorrhea and syphilis and chlamydia? You know what I mean? He could have just fucked one person and have all 3 of them. So
that is true.
It doesn't, I don't look at it from a standpoint really of numbers more than what the character is moving forward.
Yeah, can I piggyback off of that? Because one thing I didn't get to say is that it's the pretty boys who the player pretty type that
Go ahead,
they walk around knowing they can have whoever they want and they flaunt that and all that. Like, that's what's unattractive to me. It's like, yeah, I had her. I had 3 the other night, and I'm like, I don't. Yeah, that I don't.
Yeah, I don't think it's no good in advertising. You don't need to talk about it.
Right.
You know, keep that
but even if he doesn't talk about it, and it's just something that's just known. You just.
Can I ask y'all ladies a question? Can I ask y'all like a personal question? Like, all right, I've been a whore. I've been a whore in my life, right? But within this last year, right, God has really worked on me. You guys are God-fearing women. To say you wouldn't be with a man who had 100 or 200 people, that gives me an inclination that you doubt God. Because I'm telling you right now, the hoe that I was ain't there no more. She not. And if you treat me as such, you're going to miss out on the best motherfucking thing. And it happens every single day with every woman I meet. They want to judge me by my whole ass past. And you know what? I shake hands. Nice meeting you. Along your way. Next.
Well, that's the benefit of being Holy Ghost filled, because you know that meme that says God gonna have to come and sit on the edge of my bed like, yo, my homie want to talk to you. Like, that's really what it would have to take.
Now let me ask you this though, Yak. Is he no longer in you anymore because you just changed, or is it because you're getting older and your sexual appetite has decreased rapidly?
I am very healthy, bro. I wake up like I'm 13 every morning.
Okay. There's that.
So no, I'm gonna be very real with this. Every day I am still fighting that inner beast. Every day I think about coochie. Every day I do want to have sex with somebody. If Marion was walking past me, I know Marion. She got a nice wagon behind her. I'm gonna look at it.
Holy shit.
And no, I'm keeping it a being here. I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna start fantasizing about shit. All right. However, what I've done now, what I've changed now is, so when I see a body, because I love body art, I love the woman's body. I just be like, in my heart, I'd be like, God, you did some good work right there, boy. You did good work right there. And what I do is I no longer make that initiation to go into it. I'm still sinning technically in my mind. That's a whole nother, it's going to take me probably another whole 2, 3, 4, 5 years before that even comes away. I am still highly sinning in my mind. If my mind was on a damn projector and y'all seen what I did to some of these women when they walk by in my head mentally, y'all be like, damn, you're a freak. Just keep it in the beam.
So like, I just want to kind of bring it back just a little bit. So, Poke, I don't think that you spoke on, I know you talked about the pros of it, but did you speak on any cons of marriage? Because this is your second marriage, correct? So do you have any cons of being married at all, or everything is just positive about it?
Can't
you're
hear
muted. Yeah, you're muted.
Muted. You're muted.
Oh, you muted.
You're muted.
The only con I know of.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely got some cons, but if you would allow me, can I circle back and just give one more pro that I kind of forgot about?
Go ahead.
Another pro of being married is networking. Okay. You cannot get into upper executive or upper management. You can't network with executives if you're not married. That's very strong to get into these rooms with these people if you're not married.
I think we only had one president that wasn't married. Was it Cleveland? Grover Cleveland? Was that his name? I can't remember. And then I believe he ended up getting married shortly into his first term.
And
yeah.
A lot of those are arranged for that reason, though.
Yep.
For that reason of that stigma. Apostle Paul talks about, like, man should be alone. And the reason why he says that man should be alone, that when you learn how to control that horny, when you don't, like, I do something called semen retention. Like, I don't bust nuts for months. Even if I have sex with a woman, I don't bust a nut, because that inner force, that's a whole different form of control. It's one thing to stop yourself from having sex with a woman, but to not climax when you are in the process of it, it's a whole nother level. Most men can't even think about it. They can't even fathom it.
To me, it seems pointless, because the whole reason for me to do this,
correct,
is to feel good when I you know what I'm saying, when I get into that point.
If you study what happens to your body when you allow that nut to build up inside of you, that's how empires are built.
I've heard all of that shit. I've heard all of that.
It's just hard, bro.
I know if I do it before I go to work, I'm gonna have a great motherfucking day. It's gonna be a good day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when they talk about don't do it before games and all, any type of shit like that. Listen, my day will start off fucking perfect. I'm
you
happy.
Won't see the difference.
I feel great.
If you get a chance, try this one time. You won't see a difference until you hold your nut back for 21 days.
Not doing it. Not gonna happen. But I'm sorry, Poke. Go ahead and go finish with what it is that you were saying, Poke, about as far as you was going back to the pro.
Yeah. So for networking purposes, when you want to be in these rooms with executives, people that's really making money and making moves, they don't even trust you to be around as a single man. Having a wife is very, very beneficial for a couple of reasons. Number one, you need your wife to be in the same room and work that room and know how to talk to the other wives. But number two, they need to see that level of maturity in you. and they're not going to trust you around their wives as a single man.
Yeah.
So
Hell
so
no, they don't want that, especially
so
if you're good looking.
so it's
You know how
very
many business
hard.
deals I lost? You know
It's
how many
very
business deals I lost walking into that motherfucker sexy and single?
so it's very hard to get into affluent rooms as a single man when you're older. Now, when you're in your 20s, you could get away with it, but as you get older, if you are not married, it kind of looks bad on you. It looks like, okay, you're not a trustworthy person, you're not a mature person, you're not a stable person. That's what it looks like. Okay, so that's my last pro. I will agree though, brothers. Like, I'm not gonna like act like it ain't real. The cons is, number one, women initiate 80% of the divorces. So, you know what I mean? When you do get married, just know if a divorce is going to happen, it's going to be her leaving your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm glad you said that, and just to, you know, kind of feed into that, you know, I've led conversations or, you know, debates up with that. And women will say, well, it's probably because of those 80% or 70 to 80% of those women who initiate it. 70 to 80% of men probably did something fucked up for her to initiate it.
Yeah, I mean that's
Not all of them, but you have to
both. Yeah,
which ones were abused, which ones, you know, had mental issues. Like, can we get it in full context of all the issues?
I want to see why they got
married.
married.
That are just irreconcilable differences because we grew apart. That is BS. Yes.
Most people's foundation is on
it's BS to what did you say was BS, Marion?
When there are women who just don't want to do right. I'm not going to hold you on that one.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, can we get what percentage of that 70 to 80% are domestic violence victims? Which ones got men who don't want to work? Which ones where they lost a child and they just couldn't bring together because they were grieving? Which ones where one of the people in the marriage had mental health issues? Like, can we get that breakdown and then really see who are what percentage of that 70 to 80% are just women who are just leaving a man just because they trash?
So what I will say is this: if you have one party leaving 80% of the time, if you have one party leaving 80% of the time, let's just give 10%. Let's give 10% to physical abuse, mental abuse, cheating, anything. The worst of the worst. Let's give 10% to that. But 80% is just an abnormal number, because we all can agree that out of all those marriages, women are cutting up too. Women are cheating. Women are abusive. Women are manipulating. Women are neglectful. Women are doing the same exact thing as men. The simple. Okay, Marcus, to answer your question.
And on top of that, though, Poke, a lot of women are more educated. They're making a lot more money, and a lot of women feel like they don't even need a man to be married because it's. I've heard a lot of women just say, "I only need a man for sex. That's all I need you for. Everything else I can do on my own." But go ahead, Poke.
That's true, but this really kind of sums it up. This is the con of marriage. This what really kind of sums it up. We live in a society where women can divorce the man 80% of the time, and they still could come back around and say, well, they be fucking up all the time. Like, that right there is fucking crazy. Because when I read that number, the 80% women file divorce first, what I see is men go through the same fucking shit, but they're not going to divorce that woman. They're not leaving though. They're not going to leave. Like a man. When a man gets married, you know what that other 20% is? The other 20% is rich and wealthy men that don't give a fuck, or it's men with toxic and personality disorders. They don't give a fuck. But the normal, average, everyday man, once he says, "I'm gonna marry you," they ain't divorcing you now.
Why?
They're not going to do that one.
That is. Why do you feel like men will stick around until things are just so unbearable that he can't deal anymore?
Because that's life.
Because of the other con. Once you do get that divorce, Most times the woman get the kids. Most times you got to pay child support. Most times you got to pay spousal support. So the consequence is on a man. You're going to be fucked the most. Women come up in a divorce. Well, actually, I take that back. Nobody comes up in a divorce. Everybody loses in a divorce. But the perception is that women come up. Okay. When I got divorced, I lost my family. I lost access to my kids on an everyday basis. So I'm the fucking loser.
That's a hurt piece. That's
a very hurt piece, especially when you raise your kids from day one. You were there every single day. So there's winners and there's losers. And most times, not all the time, but most times, men is the biggest losers in divorce.
Yeah. So the 80%, do we have those numbers? Like, do we have those numbers from like maybe like our grandmothers? Like, what was the divorce rate for our grandmothers? Does anybody?
I wish I did know. I should have looked that up.
Because here's what my brain tells me.
Divorce rates, Dan.
Here's what my brain tells me. Like, the reason why women are filing for divorce so much these days is men are men. Like, we were designed this way. That horny, women will never understand that one day we wake up as a
bro. What's up with that horny, man?
What's that?
Yeah, I mean, what's up with that? What's up with that horny, bro? Like, I mean, you gotta have discipline too.
Everything that I'm talking about, all the issues that women have with men, is in direct proportion to the horny. See, a lot of times people want to cure the symptoms. I'm talking about the cause. The cause is not being able to control your little head. Every man is thinking with that. So here's the problem. They've always been thinking with it. Now we have technology. Everybody says, oh, the world's so racist now. The world's so this. Now, this shit's been going on, except now you have a phone in the palm of your fucking hand and you can record it. You can have a receipt. Motherfuckers can't lie in the dark. And women are just not putting up with it no more. See, Papa was a Rolling Stone too, but there was no Facebook. There was no cell phones. Once his ass went to work, he could do what the fuck he wanted to do until he came back home, and you were none the wiser. So those marriages would last.
That in itself, that is true. However, it's not necessarily that we didn't have no receipts. It was more that women didn't really have shit then. So the man was the only one working.
World War II changed that. Yes.
What the fuck was she gonna do? Nothing. Sit there and look stupid. So men was coming home drunk, hitting that woman upside the head, abusing kids, got a family down the street. But it was no divorce because back then the women were the biggest losers, if that were the case.
And I was gonna touch on that for you women. I'm gonna touch on that. So here's another caveat to that. We've treated women so wrong for all these years since they've been around. They've been our toys, they've been our pawns. Let's keep it a bean. They are just now starting to get a voice. And what's happening is they're using it. And we don't like it because we're males. And what's happening is they're using it wrong sometimes. Like women, I tell my daughter, if a man is primal and he's not elevated, treat him like a wild animal. You wouldn't walk into the Pittsburgh Zoo, hop the fence and punch a bear in his fucking face or cuss him out. And if he ate you, none of us are going to be like, damn, that bear shouldn't have did that to Tamaya. No, you're going to be like, Tamaya shouldn't have got her ass in there. And that's the same thing when it goes for a young man who's primal or a man that not in control of his horny. He's not in control of his horny. He's very fucking primal and he's a wild fucking animal. And we can all agree because we're all men. Like when we were that wild, horny animal, you couldn't say certain shit to me. You couldn't do certain shit to me because that animal would just come out. That animal just want to end this whole fucking conversation. So we've been putting women in their place for so long. And now they're finally starting to come up and come out of it. World War II is when it changed. If you look at the history in World War II, when all the men had to go to war, the women had to do what?
Work.
They were forced to go to work. And guess what they realized? Guess what they realized? That everything they say all day, I don't need a nigga for shit. And they ain't changed since World War II. They realized they can make the money, they could be the breadwinner, and they can have money, and now they can leave the man, like she was saying. Now I got my own money, now I can leave. Most women that don't leave can't. They'd want to. They can't. And sometimes most men that want to leave can't. Because, he a mama's boy, whatever you want to call it. Stay at home, play video games, don't do shit, don't work. And that's just what it is. That's what we live at. Like, it's at the end of the day, it ain't the man's fault. It ain't the female's fault. It's our fault.
let me ask you guys this. Are you guys advocates for marriage? Or is it like, people do what it is that they want to do? But do you encourage people to be married?
Depending on who it is.
Yeah, because I got
encourage
agree with that.
people to be married who have done I want to be married research. I think that a lot of times people get married because it's the thing to do.
There
You
was
know,
there was a
that's
comment on here that say women want the marriage, I mean the
Flex.
wedding, but they really don't want
The
the marriage.
flex.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I did when
Okay.
I was younger, but not now. So once again, like I said in the beginning, marriage is work, and it's something that you have to enter into, that you have to really fight to get out of, and that to me is a con. When two people come to a point where, you know, this is not where we want to go, this is no longer our path forward, that you got to go and spend months to get out of something that, you know, that you've been in, and say, oh, well, you know, let me pay a lawyer, or let me, you know, spend 6 months of my life waiting for this to happen and that to happen just so you can get the fuck out of my face. That's a con to me. You know what I mean? But as far as being an advocate for marriage, I'm an advocate for people getting married if they want to get married. I don't put that like, oh, you know, you shacking up, you living together, you should get married. Married, it's not for everybody. It's not. And
But I will say,
when you
I will
find
say,
out it ain't for you, leave.
but I'm a believer in, and I know a lot of Christians are not, because you know they'll say y'all up there shacking up. But I two things.
That ain't in the Bible. That ain't in the Bible.
Oh, well, I'm not a Bible thumper. I really don't know much. I know your basics, but two things that I'm probably not going to do if I'm going to marry you is I'm not waiting to have sex with you until we get married. I'm not doing that.
That's not what the Bible said. That's not what the Bible said.
And I feel like I need to live with you to see if this is something that I can deal with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, that's me. But a lot of people do not feel that way.
Test drive that car, baby.
You know, Candy will be on here. Listen, if you don't put her toilet seat down, you know that
should be standard. That is standard.
Because it should be down when you flush it. Not all. We might fall in. You should put the toilet seat down because you don't want that shit spraying up on your toothbrush.
That's nasty.
Well, my toothbrushes are in the closet with the cap.
Well, mine is in my room, but some people still do their shit.
But I'm just saying,
anything.
Even if a man forgets,
I ain't never argue about no toilet seat.
Just like I can put the toilet seat down, you can you can put it down. If it's up, you put it down.
No, that's disgusting. Close it. Close the whole toilet.
I mean, as I've gotten older, I've gotten that advice. You know, when you flush, you don't want all of that stuff, you know, going all over the place. So yeah, I mean, I do agree, but that's not what women be saying. Y'all be talking about.
You went to Alabama, you learned that in 9th grade.
I came in the bathroom to go to the bathroom, and I fell in the toilet. Like, are you walking to the toilet backwards?
Listen, Marcus.
Like, I don't understand how that happened.
Marcus, listen. Between me and you, bro, that's women in general.
But I'm saying when I go
listen, that's them in general. They don't pay attention to their surroundings, then they blame everybody.
Yeah, no, I just posted a reel on this.
Go ahead.
And there was a guy. It was a stitch where the guy first was saying, like, you ever wonder why your girl is just so ditzy and just not aware of stuff when she around you? He's like, actually, that's a compliment. And then the girl said, yes, because what I'm going to do when I'm around this man is shut my brain completely off. And I wrote a caption, to trust a man that much, it's a beautiful thing. To know that I don't got to worry about that. My brain on these kids, my brain on this job, my brain on cooking and cleaning and all that stuff. When he here and we in the car, I don't got to worry about nothing.
So when you're not with him, then you have to turn that on and off. Like, I think it should be on at all times. You should need to always be aware of your surroundings.
I'm tired. When he's around, I'm at rest.
Okay, see, what I was gonna say. I was gonna say
there might be a deeper. There might be.
But it's like, yo, y'all think men don't get tired? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then y'all was talking about how what did you say?
That's the bottom line.
Y'all see
every relationship I've been in, right? I'm a whore, but I'm an honest whore, right? Here's how I work, Marcus, and I'm gonna let every woman know from here on out. If you're trying to date me, if you're in my inbox, this is how I work. So pay attention, listen up, and take notes.
Let's hear
I
it.
am a loyal whore.
That doesn't make
moment
sense,
you open
Troy.
that door, the moment you open that door, I'm gonna do what I've been wanting to do, and I ain't gonna shut the door. I ain't gonna shut it, and that's the problem. So what happens is, women usually open that door. Oh, Troy, you don't do this. Oh, Troy, you don't do that. Oh, Troy, you know, I wish I had this. 20-80 rule. That side nigga comes along, gives her that 20% that she thinks she's missing and needs, and now she starts to do something. Now that door's open. I won't even tell her I know she's fucking him. I'm going to keep it in my phone, go do what I want to do, and then if you happen to catch me,
So what I want to do is, because I know we're not going to be here too much longer, if the people who are listening, viewing this right now, if you have any questions or any comments that you'd like to make regarding the show or anything that's been said on the show today, you can go ahead and call in. It's on here on the screen, 878-348-0414. If you have any comments, questions, for anybody on the panel, or like I said, you just want to put your 2 cents in, you go ahead and give us a call.
Yeah, because I definitely I gotta get ready to leave pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean we almost 2 hours into it. I was trying to keep it under 2 hours, but there's been a lot of different perspectives here about. And I know. Go ahead. You said you're gonna bring something up?
I want to go back to like some of the points that Poke was. Yeah, I wanted to go back to some of the points that Poke was making. And the one thing about men, now I do know somebody. I'm not saying that what you're saying is 1,000% wrong, because I've seen a man go through hell in his marriage and stay. I've seen it. But when you talk about women cheating the most and men stick to it, I'm gonna try to bring this up and keep us in context. The whole Jeezy Jeannie Mai thing.
Oh shit.
And when I know I don't want to stay on them though, because ain't none of us at Jeezy or Jeannie Mai income level. So, but my point is, when there was a rumor going around that the reason why Jeezy filed for divorce was because she was going around with Mario Lopez, a bunch of regular folk like us was in the comments was saying, well, men don't fool with that. If you cheat on me, it's a wrap. Yeah, agreed. Men cheat a lot and women stay, but if you cheat on me, that's it.
I agree with that. No. Okay, so hold on. This is my thing, okay? So
being real doesn't bother.
If I cheat on you 10 times and you take me back all 10 times, and that was completely your decision, okay? But just because you stay around because I did some fucked up shit does not mean that I'm sticking the fuck around when you do some fucked up shit, because that's how the fuck I feel. I don't give a fuck how many times I cheated and you brought me back. If I found out that you do some shit, it's just over. It's over.
If I ever make a team at Aliquippa, they're gonna be called the Aliquippa hypocrites, because boy, we all like that.
No, I don't think it's being a hypocrite, because you took me back. You did not have to do that. But I don't think you should. I don't think
you could have just left though.
But there's something called reciprocity. And that woman loved you enough to do that 10 times, and you ain't gonna pay her back.
I still love you, baby.
That means you ate at the table and you didn't pay the bill.
I still love you, but I can't do this.
Well, I think Marcus, though, you're again, like you're talking from a relationship level, okay? Once a man gets married to a woman, now that changes. That's a game changer, because most times men will deal with a lot of fucking shit in a marriage. And like I said, the only men that you see divorcing first, I mean, I applauded Jeezy. I was like, yes, but the only men that you see, initiating divorce are rich men. And the reason is you're going to get fucked in a divorce. So it really does, the old song is cheaper to keep her and shit. But it does come to a point where it's like, fuck, man, I got to deal with this shit now. You know what I mean? But if I divorce her, though, I'm losing access to my kids. I'm on child support. I'm on spouse support. And also, you know what the hidden thing is? Now I got another enemy in my life. Because believe it or not, that person, when they divorce you, they're pretty much raising their hand and saying, I am your enemy, motherfucker.
I am your opposition.
I'm your opposition. You know what I'm saying? And so, I look on the Facebook sometimes and say, oh, we co-parent, stuff like that. But when a person divorces you, they are you're there, your open enemy.
6 years.
And most times they're going to demonstrate that any chance they get. So what I'm trying to say is your life becomes hell. As a man, you know this, Marcus, you know this, Troy. As a man, all we want is peace. All we want is peace. We'll deal with a whole lot of fucking shit and just go to the bar and drink a beer or something, but we want peace. So
like
that's why a lot of men, they're not going to initiate that divorce because that's war. That is war right there. And if you haven't been through a divorce, you might not know it. But I'm telling you, a divorce on a man or on anybody, divorces, they did a study. Divorce is second to death.
Well, listen,
that's second to death.
It's wild that you said that because
death is better than divorce, bro. Because in death, you ain't got to see that bitch in the store. You feel me? You ain't got to see them at the movies with somebody else. You ain't got to see them being happy with somebody else. Death is easier than divorce to me.
Well, like Pokey, like you were just saying, like it takes a toll on everybody because I remember when, my parents had split and, we had a dog and the dog was going through it. So, did a little bit of research on that shit, like for real, like, shitting, in the house, doing things that he normally wouldn't do. So, read up on it a little bit and come to find out that when people get divorced and they have a pet for years, those pets go through it. It's a separation type of deal. But I thought that was real interesting. But a question I want to ask y'all, and we ain't going to be here too much longer, but you guys know and I want everybody to answer. Nikita, I want to start with you. Do we know people who are happily married? I don't know a lot of people. I know people who are married, but I don't know how many people I know that are really happy in their marriage.
I think that in order to answer that question, you must define happy. And I think that happy is subjective. So that being said, some people are happy because, their spouse is at home with them 24/7 as opposed, except for work hours. Some people are happy if their marriage is rooted in gender roles. My husband go out and work, he paid the bills, he cut the grass, he do the shit that men supposed to do, and I do the shit that women supposed to do. It just really depends on what how you define happy. What makes me happy versus what make Marion happy may be two totally separate things. So as far as,
can we change that word happy to successful?
No.
Because you can be successful and not happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, because
I know anybody. Yeah. Hey.
Go ahead. You're right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do I know anybody that I know for sure that they are like a happy married couple? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know people who look happy, you know what I mean? But because I know them and, I know what some of their issues are in that, I wouldn't necessarily say is happy. I think it works for them, but not necessarily happy.
Okay. Marion?
I know some people that are happy. Not saying that it's not without issue ever. But
yeah, I mean that comes with it,
Yeah, but
I'm just saying overall, are they pleased and happy in their? I don't know a lot of people like that. I'll say,
I know. I'll say I know some.
Okay. So do you think you know more people who are unhappy than are happy in their marriage?
Well,
the face said it all.
The
face said it all.
I try to tread lightly as somebody who's never been married.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of people who I know who are unhappy in marriage, for the ones who I know what's going on, because you don't know what's going on in people's bedrooms or whatever.
Right.
For the ones who I have a certain understanding, I'll say, of what's going on in their household, again, I go back to the rule book. I can push it back. Like, you did this, but the Lord said to do that. So to me, that's not a reflection on marriage. That's just on a reflection of how you run your marriage. You ain't doing it right.
And I want to bring this up. Shout out to Miss Rhonda. Poker, we talked about peace. You talk about peace a lot, and how men, that's pretty much all we really want. A woman's money doesn't matter or anything like that. Is do you bring me peace? Now the question she's asking is, do you bring her peace?
Yeah, I seen that. I thought that was funny. So men and women want two different things. So now that I'm asking for peace, now all of a sudden you want to ask for peace. But to answer your question, even when a man is cheating, even when he's cheating,
I still love her.
Go ahead, Troy.
No, I said I still love her, bro. When you said even when a man is cheating, I still love her.
Yes. I'm still trying to bring peace. That simple thing of peace. I'm not trying to be a warmonger. I'm not trying to make your life hell. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm not trying to nag with you. I'm not trying to fucking dispute with you all the time. See, so cheating, infidelity, peace, that's two different fucking things. My ex-wife or my girlfriend or my wife, they could be cheating on me and still be bringing me peace in my life. That's two different fucking things. See, we're asking for something that they don't really fucking understand. They don't fucking get this concept of just being peaceful. Like, so to answer her question, point blank period, yes, I'm giving her peace. I bring everybody peace. Everybody, even on Facebook, I could be debating with you. I'm still bringing peace. I'm not going to fucking be argumentative. I'm not going to be hurtful. I'm not going to call you out your name. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm just debating. I'm still bringing peace. But to answer your other question though, about do I see people that are happily married? Yes, I see more people that are happily married than people that are just in relationships. Yes, I do. And also, we're asking the wrong questions. We're asking the wrong questions.
That's the right
As
question.
Nikita said, Nikita was right. Happiness is a perception thing. Okay, but I would rather try to be married because I'm building something. I'm showing my children, I'm showing my sons how to treat a woman. I'm showing my sons how to treat someone that I am saying is my best friend in life. I think it's very important for adults and for men and for women to show young people how you treat the person that is your best fucking friend in life. How are you going to treat this person, man? I would take that risk to show them, yo, the person that loves me the most, the person that treats me right, I fucking committed to them. I'm going to show them that I'm loyal to them. I'm mature. I'm dedicated to them. I'm going to take this chance. I'm going to try this. That's more important than, oh, well, I'm not happy. Marriage isn't even about happiness, man. To hell with your happiness. It's about duty.
Thank
duty.
you. Thank you.
You have a duty. You have a duty to someone else that fucking treats you great. What about your duty to your children? What about building something so that when you die, your children have a home to come to? Like, yo, mom and dad used to live here. Yo, this is the family home right here that my fucking parents built. Like, fuck all that happiness shit, man. I'm fucking 44 years old. I'm trying to show my children something, man. And I'm trying to build something. So I'm not concerned about all of that. I'm concerned about getting some shit built. When I leave here, my sons and her children can come to a house that we shared at one time.
So I had a poke. Me and you, we engage a lot on social media. Nikita, you as well. And we had talked about being, can you marry somebody who you are not sexually satisfied with? Does that matter?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mary, you want to take that first?
I had a female who was perfect. But I just couldn't get down. I couldn't get down. I really couldn't get down with it, bro. It was literally like it just her shape and certain things like no matter what I tried, I even prayed to God, like, God, yo, bring me some love for this woman. But at the end, what I learned in that relationship, I like what I like, and I can't go against that. That's it. And when as far as happy goes in a marriage, I don't know one marriage that's happy, and I'm gonna keep it a being, not one. I know marriages that are successful with happy moments, and I know marriages that work as a strong business connection where they are committed to one another. No matter what happens, they come home and lay their head down and do what's right at the end of the day. So I know a lot of successful, committed marriages, but they're not happy all the time. You're dealing with somebody.
How would you know that? Like how would you know that, and why would you know that?
Body language is a motherfucker, bro. Body
Come on, man. You shouldn't be looking at that heavy into somebody else's marriage. I'm just saying.
It's not about looking into somebody else's marriage, bro. It's about common observation. When you're walking and talking to them, you can tell who's happily married and on the same team. You can tell who's cheating on each other. I'm not diving into this shit. I'm just paying attention. I just open my eyes now as a man. I walk and I look and I see the daisies in life. Most people miss the daisies in the crack of the streets of Aliquippa.
That don't make no sense, man. You can see brothers and sisters. You can see dads and daughters, dads and sons. They could be walking through the mall mad at each other, man. Nobody's always happy with each other in moments, man. You know what I'm saying? Like right, everybody argues, everybody has these problems, but I don't, like me and my sons, like, you know what I mean? I might be walking through the mall, you might see us and be like, damn, they're not a happy father and son. We're happy as fuck. But in this moment, he's mad because I didn't buy him these Jordans, and so now all of a sudden we're not fucking talking to each other like we normally do.
And I said, speaking of kids, Poke, I seen that your son caught a game-winning touchdown. I know you was. Hey. You was proud of the motherfucker, huh?
Bro, so fucking proud, bro. So fucking proud, man. My son caught the game-winning touchdown pass, man. That's oh my god. Thank you for mentioning that.
I see where we went wrong,
I seen you was calling him stone hands. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't catch for a goddamn, couldn't catch a cold, huh?
Yeah, that used to be his biggest issue. So for him to catch that pass, that meant so much. Man, thanks for mentioning that, bro.
How did it feel,
I just wanted to throw that out there. That's all.
It felt great, dude. It felt great to see your kids succeed. Oh my god,
bro! I was crying on the inside, on the outside, yelling on it. Like my son's first football game, I got there late. They call Hut. He's at nose tackle. He blows through, grabs the quarterback and the running back, and sacks him at the same time. I ran this. I pulled a hamstring and everything, bro. I was so like nobody understands that feeling to see your seed.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Cool. That is a great feeling. But what I was going to say,
I can't really talk too much into that. My daughter plays flag football and she did pretty well. But before you go, Troy, I want to ask the women as well. When it comes to being, is how important in a marriage is being sexually satisfied by your husband?
Tell the truth now.
It's paramount. In terms of having, that intimacy, obviously, when you start to talk about sex, that's a huge part of marriage. You hear so many marriages, oh, she didn't give me none, he ain't doing this, da 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 da, blah blah blah. So to be sexually compatible with your spouse is paramount, and that's why I don't believe in abstaining from sex before you get married. Because if you get married and then you don't satisfy them, they don't satisfy you, then what you crazy. That's crazy, because it's gonna, even if you decide, okay, well, we got married anyway and we're gonna make it work, it's stressful. It's gonna be stressful for the person who is not satisfied, and it's gonna be stressful for the person who is not satisfying them, because you're always looking like, oh, are they gonna cheat on me because I'm not satisfying them, and then it's just gonna be a mess. So yes, it's very important. It's very important.
That lady, she satisfied me though sexually, the one I was talking about. I can teach anybody. I can teach anybody to satisfy me sexually. It's not hard. However, I
have a different opinion on that, Troy, because it's like I can't tell you what the shorty did with her tongue. You know what I'm saying? I can't replicate that or tell you how to do it.
I bet you I do. I'm verbal. I'm like, look, you're doing that all wrong.
She did, and I'll break it down, bro. I'll break it down. I'm like, that's how you get things working. Like, I'm gonna break it down. Like, I'm a very verbal person because what I used to get mad at people for not doing things I never said out loud. That's most humans. So now I say what I got. I say what I speak my truth. And if you go around that, you are showing me with action that you don't give a fuck how I feel. And
now, Mary,
I treat people accordingly. Like, if you're a liar, I don't trust the words you say. If you're
Mary,
a thief, I'm not about to leave you around shit that's valuable.
Mary, you know I gotta ask.
If you're a man hoe, you ain't about to stay around my girl. I know you, nigga.
I gotta ask, cuz now I want you to answer the same question that everybody else answered.
But I want to know the context of the question.
It's pretty straight.
I mean, the short answer is yes, it's very important. But if I have everything else perfect in a marriage, would I up and just divorce a man for that one?
No. I'm not saying that you're divorcing him or anything like that. I'm saying, is it? Well,
it's very important. Yeah.
No, actually, the original question is: do you think you can marry somebody? Because I don't know anybody who's actually waited for marriage for sex. I don't know a single motherfucker like that.
We might be here all night, Marcus.
And if you tell me that you're a virgin and you're waiting for sex, I automatically don't believe you. You're lying to me. I just don't believe it. But yeah, do you feel like
clearly I'm not a virgin because I have a whole kid.
Yeah, you have a child. So do you feel like I never wanted to insinuate that you were a virgin, but
I'm a virgin.
Do you feel like that you could be with somebody, marry somebody who you're not getting satisfied from?
Wait, hold on one second, because that said kid just walked in.
But yeah, me personally, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it's going to be a good thing for me personally. You know what I'm saying?
Because we can go back to like women having 35 bodies. Because like that's why I want that, because I know you can satisfy me. You know what the hell you doing. If you've only had 15 and you 35, like unless you've had a whore as a man who taught you everything and put you down deep, you probably gonna be terrible.
And I somewhat do agree with that. You know what I mean? Like I hear this notion that men want these women to be virgins, and I don't know any man who wants a woman that's a virgin.
I want a hoe, a loyal one.
I'm not saying all of that either. I'm not going to take it that far. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to be somewhat in
the bedroom.
I want you to be seasoned a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to teach you a goddamn thing. But also at the same time, I still feel like knowing each other's bodies definitely goes a long way. You know what I mean? So, we've been dealing for X amount. Let's say we've been dealing for 5 years, and you still, or I still have not gotten it right to please you. And it's like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of how I feel about it. But
yeah, you're right. You're not wrong.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, I'm not gonna act like I don't understand what y'all saying. I mean, sex is super important. Okay. However, let's suppose you met someone that loves you correctly, is honest, has respect, is serious about duty, does all of the most important things correct. For the ladies, he earns well. All these important things, you would really let that go because of sex? Like, yo, I just want y'all to understand this and think about this. We're literally the only culture that does that. We're the only culture that does that. You want to know how I know? You want to know how I know this? Black men, as we all know, is the most desirable man on the planet. Okay? But the Asian woman, they're not going to leave that Asian daughter that can't dick her down for us. If you find you a white woman that's married to doggone some guy that's a millionaire, she ain't leaving him for us. See, like we're the only ones that value sex over everything.
She's not going to leave him, but she's going to fuck you.
Okay, but that's not the okay. So that's only proving my point. I'm talking about the difference between fucking and being loyal. And that she gonna fuck us, but she ain't gonna be married to us. She ain't gonna leave that man for us.
So, Poke, if we
She's
do
never
that,
gonna leave. She's never gonna leave him for us.
Okay, so if we're with this woman and we're not satisfied and we go head out and, well, I don't want to leave you. You know, I'm not going to leave you because I'm not sexually satisfied. I'm going to go head out and I'm going to go pay for it for a night. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm going to be good after I pay this short. Okay. Now she finds out and she going to leave me anyway.
Bro, all I'm trying to say is when it comes to something as important as marriage, why are we not looking at the most important thing? Sex is nothing. Sex isn't the most important thing. And then we all agree. We started this off by saying that marriage is business. Correct. So you're a dummy if you're doing business with your dick. That makes you dumb. You see what I'm saying? I ain't dumb. Like I'm going to pay attention to some other things. And I'm still not saying, I'm saying I agree with you that sex is important, but it is not more important than somebody that truly fucking loves me. It's not important than a good fucking soul. It's not more important than duty and respect and honor and loyalty.
But
Can I bring that metaphor home though? Can I bring that business metaphor home real quick?
We're one of the very few species that do it for not just to procreate, for pleasure. It's not very
not marriage. Not marriage. Not marriage.
I'm talking about the act of sex.
We have sex declines.
I don't know. Follow casual geographic. He might be able to tell you something different.
No, but it's not a whole.
Animals are more like us than we think.
But there's not a lot of them that are like that. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very few that do it for pleasure.
Animals have cycles. They can only like a dog can only have sex
twice
a year.
Hey yo, what I'm trying to listen, man. If you're in your 20s and your 30s and you're making these decisions, that's one thing. If you're 35 plus years old and and sex is at the top of your totem pole when it comes to getting married, you are immature. There's something fucking wrong, man. Like at a certain age, sex should come down a little bit, just a little bit. And if y'all all know how hard it is to meet somebody that's a genuine fucking friend to you. Y'all all know that. Right. So you're telling me you meet somebody and you fucking know that this person is your genuine fucking friend that loves you. And you're going to fucking throw them to the wayside over some sex? That makes you a dummy.
I don't know if I need to, you need to throw them to the wayside. I'm not saying,
Well, no, we're talking about marriage. We're talking about marriage.
Already being married, correct?
Well, if you're saying, yo, I'm not going to marry you because your sex isn't good enough, that makes you a fool.
Okay.
What I'm saying, like, yeah, because if there are porns out there,
you know that saying, young fools don't do. I'm not about to be an old fool, man. I ain't about to be an old fucking fool.
I feel you on that, bro. I'm gonna back that what you're saying, because like I feel you on that. Like, sex is the easiest thing to teach a woman.
Easier, and it's the easiest thing to get. It's the easiest thing to get.
That's not true, Paul.
It's harder to teach a woman to respect
it's not as easy for us to get as it is for women.
No, when you get older, it's very fucking easy.
But I'm just saying, it's
very easy.
I saw something on here that I think it was Jesse posted that the average adult in America, I believe he was saying, has 4 to 8 partners as by the time they are an adult. I'm gonna assume 30s and 40s, 4 to 8. That's what he said. And he's a smart guy. I'm sure he.
Jesse, a pastor, man. That's some First Baptist shit, right?
It depends on your geographic, like, because in the African American community, we start having sex around 12, 13 years old. In the white communities, it's around 17, 18 years old. Okay, it's all about the community. Like, we are primal beings. The reason why niggas are primal beings and the reason why Caucasians call us animals and stuff like that is in direct proportion to slavery. They treated us like fucking animals, and guess what? Now every black person I know, they treat their children like animals. Like, we don't handle our children with the care that we don't listen to the Bible, period. We talk to them, we curse at them all day without saying fuck, shit, damn, or anything. You're so fucking stupid. You're gonna be just like your fucking sorry ass daddy. Like, that's cursing. That's what the Bible really talks about. That's why when somebody tries to correct me for saying fuck, I say shut the fuck up and learn what cursing really is. Like, because that's the cursing that goes on every day. Every day I see somebody has a beautiful son, right? And I see somebody pick him up. Oh, he gonna break hearts, girl. No, I say, no, he gonna mend hearts. Because that's cursing. That's the true cursing. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Period. And we live in a community where sex is the hot thing. Let's just keep it what it is. Say it what it is. Like, sex is cool. Like, we brag about it, we rap about it, we dance about it. Everything that we do in our community is about sex. That's what it is. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm gonna end on this because this is how I feel about all of that when it comes to a woman or anything. I don't care how many people she's been with. I don't care if like when it comes to marriage or relationships, I really don't care if a chick gets dick down. My biggest issue, because I'm a very secure man, my biggest issue is lying to me. My biggest issue is lying to me because honestly, what I'm looking for in a woman, I'm looking for a woman that's going to come home at night and not give up on me and tell me the truth at all times. Because when I do my research about humans, we're not supposed to be, we're not supposed to be with one mate. We're just not. It's scientifically proven that we're not supposed to be with one mate. That is a willful choice that you have to make. And that's okay. You're allowed to do that for a person. But my whole thing is I'm looking for somebody. You can do what you want. You can have sex. Not have sex with who you want. But my thing is I want honesty and I want you to come back to me.
Hey, where's that music coming from?
It's just background music playing.
Oh, my bad.
No, you good.
Oh, he closing out the show. Like,
yeah. But yeah, before we get out of here, though, does anybody have any, last, remarks, comments that they want to make as far as pros and cons of marriage? I know we went a lot of off topic, we went left, we went right, we went up, and we down, and I agree, you know what I mean? It all kind of comes back, full circle to it. But I just want to see, before we get out of here, any other comments as far as pros and cons of marriage?
My only thing is like I'm not gonna pretend like there is definitely cons to getting married. To getting married, it just fit my moral compass, and I feel like we were put here, man, to need each other. We were put here to be with each other, and I just feel like I just feel like as I grow older, I definitely want that companionship. I want that friendship. I want that person that's on my side. And I want that challenge of proving to that person that I'm that person that I said I am. And I'm going to lead and I'm going to be everything that you wanted to be. I just like that challenge. But on top of everything, man, there's my kids. You know what I'm saying? There's all the kids that's involved. You know what I mean? One big thing, like I never wanted her daughters to view me as a guy that was just here to play around with their mom. Like I didn't want to be that guy. I want them to know, like, yo, when Poe come through, like this is that he's him. And I want my sons to know how I deal with people and how I'm about business. I'm about business. I'm not just a, you know what I'm saying?
You're an elevated man. You're an elevated man.
Yeah, I want to stand upright. Like I'm at this point. I want to be upright. So whoever I'm dealing with, and they make it across that bridge, and they show me like, damn, like this person is a fucking friend of mine.
Sure, yeah. And I also want you to. I don't know if you have or not, y'all, but I sent you that link about, you had made that post about because Poke, I believe you was on that show. Marion, I think you was on it as well. Men who need multiple women are not happy with themselves. So I know I sent that to you, Yak. So when you get a chance, check that out.
Yeah, I definitely love that out. But I'll just say,
I disagree with that. But as you get older, though, that does become an issue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it does come to a point where, like, come on, man, when is enough enough? When is enough enough? Like,
it gets boring. It gets boring.
How many you gotta knock down before you be like, yo, man, I want to do something different. I want to be thorough. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So
I mean,
that's it.
I feel that. Anything else, Nikita?
No, I don't think I have anything. I think that we've gotten through, some pros, some cons. If there's anybody out there who's thinking about it, think about it some more before you do it. And that's what I think about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been something. First off, growing up or anything like that, I grew up with my parents married. You know what I'm saying? That's all I seen. You know, so but even in seeing that, it was never a goal of mine that I want to get married and I want to, you know, start this great family and have this like. That was never anything that was ever on my mind. Never thought about it. And
Once
then
you
as I
get there,
got,
yeah.
and as I got older, it was like, man, that's kind of scary a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then I remember, you know what I'm saying? I know my mom ain't listening because she really doesn't listen to my things because of things that are said on here, and I get it, you know, but I remember years ago, a lot of people love my mom, but I remember years ago, you know, having a marriage conversation with my mom, and I had said to her, you know, I don't think I want to wake up to the same woman every day. And she looked at me like, who raised you? You know what I'm saying? But that's
nothing
like
wrong with that, Marcus.
That's
you
how
know
I was
that?
feeling. And I was young. I was probably like 15, 16, something like that. And she got really upset with me though. But that's really how I felt. Like, damn, can I be
Women
with
don't
one?
understand that
Can I
primal
be
male.
with one person for the rest of my life?
That
And
primal
that's it.
male. That primal male. Women don't get that. If women understood the primal male, they would. More women would be like, you know what? I understand what you have, that necessity and stuff like that. More women wouldn't tell us no when it's time for sex. You know, more women will be open to that. Like, they just don't understand how fucking horny that we are. Like, I'm going back to the horny Pope. That shit is so god. Like, I don't know if people was as horny as me, but bro, like, shit was like, I just woke up one day as a teenager and I ain't been able to control this shit until now. And that shit's wild to me.
A long time.
But what you just said, Pope, the Bible says, what you just spoke about yourself, right? The Bible says, once a man gets where you're at, it says, this man shall not be alone. It is very clear about marriage. Should you marry or not? Pros and cons. If it's the right person, yes, 100%. If it's the wrong person, no. And if you follow the first marriage, it tells you how to figure out if that person is right. You know, let's think about, what did Adam have before Eve? First thing God told Adam verbally was work. So Adam was working. The nigga had a job. Okay. He told him work. He was in the presence of God. So he's in the presence of God. God gave him his word. Don't bite the fruit from the tree. You know, don't eat from that fruit. So he has a working man. You know, he's in the presence of God, you know, and he knows God's word. That's three things right there. You know, then he had him name all the fucking animals. You see, in the Bible, we think Adam and Eve happened like that. In my mind, it probably took like 5 to 10 years before Eve was created. He had to name every animal. And then after he got done doing everything, and then he had to cultivate the garden. And then he had to do, and then once he had all that done, once he had work, once he had the scripture, once he had God's presence, once he knew how to cultivate, once he knew all of those things, God then says, this man shall not be alone. And then God, ready? Here it is, ladies. Pay attention. Don't argue with me. Argue with God. Then God says, I will create woman for man. I'm going to say that again. I will create woman for man. And the problem is, y'all got that shit twisted. Y'all think God created us for you. It's not. And if you learn, if you follow the first marriage, if you follow the rules of the first marriage, you will have a pro and you will be happily married with a powerful motherfucking partner like Pope. And y'all gonna do things. All it is a franchise and a dynasty that you're saying, hey, let's take this fucking life and make the best of it together because it's easier with two. That's it.
Well, on that note, man, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the show. I appreciate everybody for being on. Troy, first time panelist being on the show.
I appreciate you for being on. Coming back.
No, I mean you had some good shit to say though. And I'm sure, you know what I'm saying, I'll have some other things, you know what I mean, that if you want to hop on, you can definitely chime in. Marion, you know what I'm saying, you already know you always got a spot on the show anytime that you want to. Pope, Nikita, same thing with y'all. This is pretty much, you know, like I said, Troy, this is your first time, but these three are pretty much have been, you know, my core people. Pope, you've been there from the goddamn fucking beginning. Marion, you've been there from the beginning. You know, Nikita, you came and, you know, a little bit towards the middle when we started this, but you've been pretty consistent on these shows. And like I said, I appreciate you guys for making this show what it is. Poke, you know, people always got something to say about you all the goddamn time. you know, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes a good show. You know, different
I
perspectives.
like married folk though. Can I just say that? I like married folk. I like being on the
Because
panel with
listen,
married
look,
folk.
for the
This is a
listeners,
new
you know what I'm saying?
thing.
Tell
if
us
you wanna
about
go,
single poke. Tell us about single poke.
no, see what you got to do. What you got to do, Troy?
gotta
You
look
got to
at
go
the
back
old-
and check. You got to check out the old episodes. You got to look at
So
those.
I can actually see him growing on the episodes.
If you probably could. Now, him and Marion have Poke and Marion have had some back and forth. One time I had them on a call on three-way, and these motherfuckers was going the fuck at it. And I'm like, yo, all right, y'all need to call each other. You know what I'm saying? But
Iron sharp
yeah,
as
man.
iron, though. Iron
Yeah.
sharp as iron.
Yeah, for sure.
Marion is mean to me. I call her Mean Marion.
I be joking too much. That's all.
Marion
but-
been mean since a little kid.
And see, I don't know that Marion. You know what I'm saying? I've known
Well, I
Marion
know that
her
Marion
whole
because
life,
we was the only niggas on Plan 12 for a long time.
and now look at it. It ain't like that no more.
Mister, hey, don't get
Not
it
at
twisted.
all.
Don't get it twisted. Mr. Keita mean as hell to me too. Hey, it's true, man.
Y'all have had y'all battles as well.
Boy, they don't like old Poke, man. They don't.
Hey, listen, like you said, iron sharp iron. You can't just piss on me and tell me it's raining. So you got something to say, I'm coming back.
But
That's
again,
right.
Now I'm pulling
That's
out
right.
my umbrella, then I'm gonna flick it on you.
I like to do these
And we
things.
fighting.
I like to have, you know, these types of shows too, where, you know, that can happen. Iron sharpens iron. You're getting different perspectives from people. There's things that I don't know or things that I didn't look at a certain kind of way. And then when I hear from you guys, I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And I never thought of it like that. So, you know, I'm going to continue to do these type of things as long as I possibly can. And I'm sure our listeners, the audience, they've either maybe learned something new or, you know, got some new insight or some shit. And, you know, I feel like that's kind of what it's all about. But again, y'all, I appreciate y'all for being on the show. I will have a new topic soon. I really hate the fact that I go months without doing shows.
Wait, Marcus.
Go ahead.
Has this changed your view on marriage at all?
No.
Ooh, good question.
That is a good
No?
question. You know what? Hold on. I take that back. I'm not against it. Okay, I'm not against it. I just feel like I am not where I need to be to, you know, ask somebody to, you know, come join this. You know,
You ain't ready, bro. Just say
come let
that.
me
That's
lead
it.
you.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
You're
you know what I'm
allowed
saying?
to look a woman in the eyes and say, I'm not ready. And you can't force me or I'm gonna cheat.
Yeah, and I don't even necessarily think it's more of the cheating thing. I think it just has to do with me not being where I feel like I should be in my life. So to have somebody come in, you know what I mean, and I don't want to say drag them with me, but like you said, I'm just not ready for that. I'm not where I need to be for it. So I feel like once I have all my shit together and, you know, be in a certain kind of place, you know, then
This man should not be alone, huh?
possibly.
Once you get there, this man should not. And that's okay. And that's all you have to do. And just understand, like, I'm there too. I know everything. I know what I'm supposed to do. I fucked up so long. I've done it long enough. I finally got this shit right. However, I am not ready to be in a relationship. Like, dealing with a narcissistic person, people don't realize that who you become. The person that deals with the narcissist for a long time, the narcissist victim syndrome is real. So if you don't heal, you're gonna bring that shit right into the next relationship. And if I meet my queen that I'm gonna marry, that's the last thing I want to do.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. But, you know, shout out to all the married people out there. The people who are happily married, the people thinking about getting married, engaged, you know.
Shout out to the divorced people too.
And you know, I was gonna say that, you know, and I don't want to talk about that too much, but you know, one of the cons about getting married, I think, is the actual wedding. You know, they said people be in debt because of a wedding for 5 to 10 years, and by the time you get out of debt for that, y'all the motherfucker
Niggas
got
like to
divorced.
flex. That's why.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
all flex.
Real quick. Can I speak on it? You're absolutely right, man. Like, our wedding, like, exposed so many people. I mean, even family. Like, I mean, it sucks, man. Like, cause you got to pay this money. You got to pay for them to be there. And we had people, you know, on the morning of the wedding texting, talking about, oh, we won't be able to make it. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
for a plate.
like, and and it's not just like one person. Like, and so it definitely does get to a point where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And also, when you get married, it goes by in a blur. It's so fucking quick. It's unreal for you because you have to do so much stuff. But I wanted to make one point though, like real quick, man. Like, as far as my wife goes, you know what I mean? Like, I just never really met somebody where, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was always happiness and it was always cool and it was always peace. Like, Marcus, you've been my Facebook friend forever. You've never heard me say a bad thing about my ex-wife or anything, because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say,
even in personal conversations, I've never heard you.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that because I played a role in it too. But I just never met. I never been in a relationship where it was just so peaceful and so fucking happy. You know what I'm saying? So when you guys ask, you know, have you ever seen it happy? And we're new. I get that. But like, yeah, no doubt. I get that part. But even in that honeymoon stage, I've never been in a relationship where it's just been so smooth, so happy and peaceful. I've never experienced it. So that's why Poke is married.
That's what's up, man. But congratulations to you for that. Congrats to you for being, because like Marion say, you know, she likes the married Pope. You know? It's
well, I gotta say something. I gotta say something to make her mad because we gotta keep this going. Nah.
I'm sure I can come up with something and have y'all on to where y'all can, you know, positive, you know, bump heads again. You know,
Yeah.
But until then, again, y'all, I appreciate y'all for being on. Troy, sorry, man. I thought I sent you the link earlier. You know what I mean? I saw that you sent me a
Perfect
message.
timing.
Shit. But yeah, again, we're gonna do this again soon. I'll wrap to everybody. Marion, I definitely need to stay in touch with you a little bit more. I know you're busy doing your thing. But yeah, we'll definitely stay in touch. Hopefully that you come in town soon and we can rap and, you know, hang out, do whatever. But
Yep.
Peace.
Yeah, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for being on again. And don't forget to smile. It's a good look.
Absolutely.
Word.
Later, bro.
All right. Y'all have a good night.